Chapter 567. Empress Jellyfish was indifferent towards the death of the clown fishmen. She turned her head and looked at everyone with a sharp gaze. When she was serious, Yu Yang felt as if he was looking at a female tyrant who killed people without batting an eyelid. This Empress Jellyfish was even more ruthless than the Black Hell King. Although the Black Hell King was sinister and always betrayed his allies, he treated his subordinates well. When War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North self-destructed, Yu Yang could see that the Black Hell King was heartbroken. In comparison, Empress Jellyfish, who was indifferent to the death of her subordinates, was indeed more of a ruler than the Black Hell King. Empress Jellyfish looked around and realized that no one dared to look at her. Her expression became gentle again. She purposely lowered her stance and explained to the silent leaders. Blood sacrifice is a secret method passed down by our ancestors. It is the only way to enter the secret door. Although I am heartbroken over the loss of my clansmen, I have no choice but to use blood sacrifice. Elder Xing Pan waited for her to express her stance and immediately waved his hand. He ordered the blood sacrifice to begin. Countless ocean knights carried huge buckets of fresh blood and poured the large amount of fresh blood onto the secret door that was made of meteorite iron. At this moment, the secret door looked like it could suck blood. Other than the sparks that splashed, it quickly absorbed all the fresh blood that was poured onto it. It slowly changed its color and became bright red, blazing like fire. The light of the 3 rune formations on the altar gradually turned from blood red to dark blue. A few elite ocean knights threw out the clown fishman's slave for the second time. The poor fishman fell onto the snow with a paw sound. Although the strength of the throw was too great and his bones were fractured, he did not explode and die. He managed to escape from death and immediately cried bitterly. Even the clown fishmen who were waiting to be sacrificed outside the door sympathized with him and secretly shed tears. Sirs, please follow me and restore the glory of the Sea Clan. Empress Jellyfish saw that the secret door was successfully opened and could not help but feel proud. She personally held onto the 2 important hostages, Countess Jie Wei and Countess Yen, and led the way towards the secret door. Countess Jie Wei turned around. She looked at Yu Yang uneasily. When she saw that Yu Yang and Impatience were still there, she immediately felt relieved. This action almost attracted Empress Jellyfish's attention. Countess Jie Wei hurriedly lowered her head to prevent Empress Jellyfish from noticing. The inside and outside of the secret meteoric iron gate were 2 different worlds. It was a world of snowflakes and howling winds. The temperature was even colder than the Windroot mountain range that Yu Yang had been to before. The temperature was not the deadliest part. In less than 5 minutes since they set foot in this world of ice and snow, monsters had already arrived. They were all translucent wind demons, about 10 meters tall. Their upper bodies were faintly translucent, humanoid shapes, and their lower bodies were spiraling tornadoes. What was strange was that they did not touch the ground. They were completely floating in the void. More than a dozen wind demons appeared and surrounded them from afar. They did not immediately attack. These wind demons were not afraid of sword attacks and were extremely fast. If a martial artist below the lesser innate realm encountered them, it would be an arduous and thankless task to defeat them. These wind demons are only normal level 8. There is nothing to be afraid of. Elder Xing Pan raised his right hand and a fish-shaped image appeared above his head. That giant fish head opened its mouth and spat out a water dragon, which quickly disappeared. Under Elder Xing Pan's control, the water dragon swept through the wind demons' bodies. The water dragon was absorbed by the wind demons' tornadoes and disappeared. But because of the freezing temperature, the wind demons' bodies were filled with water. Their bodies quickly turned into ice pillars and could no longer rotate. One by one, they fell onto the snowy ground. Hundreds of elite ocean knights rushed forward and killed them easily. Yu Yang saw this and praised in his heart. This old octopus was indeed not bad. He was very good at using the power of water. Originally, Yu Yang thought that he would summon a chain lightning to shatter the core of these wind demons. He didn't expect that this old fellow would only take advantage of the terrain and freeze the wind demons with water, allowing his ocean knights to deal with them easily. This way, other than killing the enemies more efficiently, it could also boost the morale of his subordinate. Killing two birds with one stone. We innates will move forward. Lesser innates will stay behind. Elder Xingpan, please lead the team and move forward slowly. Empress Jellyfish glanced at everyone. Yu Yang felt that she was looking at him. He quickly lowered his head and pretended that he was a lesser innate. The Countess did not dare to look at Yu Yang and Impatience anymore. She respectfully followed Empress Jellyfish and moved forward. More than 20 innate rankers moved forward. Only Elder Xingpan was left to lead the team. Elder Xingpan led the elite Ocean Knights in front. More than 20 trusted subordinates of the clan leader followed behind. Behind them were the clown fishmen and other vassal races. This kind of arrangement? Yu Yang frowned slightly. It seemed that something was wrong. What is this Empress Jellyfish trying to do? Impatience was also a little suspicious, but she could not guess what it was. Let's take a look first. Yu Yang felt that the other party could not have seen through his identity. Otherwise, she would not have opened the secret door and let him in. Most importantly, Empress Jellyfish's lover, the nine-headed sea goblin king who was preparing to seize power and become the new ocean emperor, had not come in yet. The team moved forward for 10 minutes. Nine-headed sea goblin king finally appeared. He brought along 5 innate rankers and walked at the front of the team with his head held high and chest puffed out. Compared to the Ocean Emperor Guanlan, Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King was indeed slightly more handsome. He had the potential to be a pretty boy. This Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King was handsome. His eyes were like lightning. However, there was a hint of evil in between his eyebrows. One look and you could tell that he was not a good person. His hair was very unique. It hung down in strands and was meticulously combed into small braids. From Yu Yang's point of view, it looked like the braids of black celebrities. However, this guy's hair color was the same as Empress Jellyfish's, golden hair. Although it was not of the highest quality, Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King's body was covered with a high-quality sacred armor. Moreover, the design was rather unique. On the shoulders there were 4 snake heads embedded. On the chest there was also a sea snake head with a long horn. Maybe it was because of this sea snake sacred armor that this guy got the title of Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King. Yu Yang did not know much about Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King. He had only heard some rumors about Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King from Hai Yingwu and Shark King. This Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King was rumored to be Empress Jellyfish's lover. At the same time, he was also the overlord of the Dark Demon Sea in the 9th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Previously, because of the Ocean Emperor's suppression, he did not do anything big in Tong Tian Tower. The only thing he did was kill his cousin Sea Demon Fish in front of everyone during the fight for the position of the 8 Great Sea Kings. Among the 8 Great Sea Kings, 4 of them were the Ocean Emperor's trusted aides. They were Shark King, Cuttlefish King, Jellyfish King and Manta Ray King. Now, other than Shark King, the other 3 had all died in the graveyard of the sea. The remaining 4 kings were the internal royalty. These 4 kings were controlled by Empress Jellyfish. They were the strongest Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King, Sea Snake King, Sea Turtle King and the most mysterious and low-key Sea Dragon King. This old man greets Sea Goblin King. Elder Xingpan was very good at diplomacy. He personally welcomed Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King. Elder Xingpan, you don't have to be so courteous. Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King had the heart to fight for the Ocean Emperor's throne. Elders like Elder Xingpan would definitely want to rope him in, so he was especially cordial. However, seeing that Elder Xingpan was the only innate, he immediately frowned and asked, Sea Snake King, Sea Turtle King and Sea Dragon King are not here yet? They usually fight to be the first in everything, but now they are cowering. This is too much. Sea Dragon King has already personally explained to Empress Jellyfish that he will not participate in the matter of the secret door. Elder Xing Pan laughed. Humph, he doesn't deserve the title of Sea Dragon King. He is actually just a useless coward. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King laughed coldly. Who is a coward? At the side of the secret door, another two groups of people came over. The leaders were a big fatty wearing a tortoise shell and a robust man with a snake's tail body holding a sea trident. Yu Yang used Heaven Eye's divine vision to take a look. He realized that although the big fatty wearing a tortoise shell was an innate level 8, he was not as strong as Shark King. He was the weakest. On the other hand, the robust man with a snake's body holding a platinum-ranked sea trident would probably be able to fight evenly with Shark King. Who is a coward? Who am I talking about? My two uncles. Could it be that you are too old to walk anymore? Why are you so slow? Nine-headed Sea Goblin King did not seem to have a good attitude towards these two elders. Luckily, I am not that old. Otherwise, how would I dare to come and join in the fun? The big fatty wearing a platinum-ranked tortoise shell laughed loudly. Don't talk nonsense with him, let's go. The relationship between the Sea Snake King with the platinum-ranked Sea Trident and Nine-headed Sea Goblin King was extremely bad. The two of them did not even look at each other. Yu Yang really wanted to attack immediately and kill the few fellows in front of him. Then he would chase up to Empress Jellyfish and eliminate her team. Finally, he would close the secret door and slowly search for treasures. Just as he was thinking about this, suddenly a strange noise came from the faraway secret door. The noise became louder and louder. Following that, a scene that made everyone dumbfounded appeared. The secret door that was opened suddenly closed quickly. When Nine-headed Sea Goblin King flew back angrily, the secret door had already closed completely. What was going on? Was there a rebellion within the Sea Clan? Or was it a conspiracy? Yu Yang and Impatience looked at each other and shook their heads, indicating that they did not understand the situation at the moment. However, he had even experienced a terrifying place like the Death Arena. Yu Yang's mental state had already become as tough as steel. He did not care about this at all. At most, he could use the three-realm compass to return to the soaring dragon continent. How could a mere meteorite metal door trap him? What a joke! He was a little curious as to why Empress Jellyfish would make such a mistake when closing the secret door. Could it be that she did it on purpose? We need an explanation. Sea Snake King and Sea Turtle King looked at Nine-headed Sea Goblin King angrily. They suspected that it was their nephew's doing. Two uncles, are you guys muddle-headed? That's right, I want to be the Ocean Emperor, but I am not a fool. Being the Ocean Emperor requires the support of many people. It's fine if you don't support me, but you even suspect me, your nephew? If I did it, how would I benefit from doing this? I am sure that this is the doing of that Sea Dragon King. I have already told the Empress that he is very patient and has an affair with the Black Hell King. We have to be careful of his plots. However, the Empress said that he is so loyal and should not be easily suspected. Now we have been schemed against by him. Once the secret door closes, we are all trapped inside. Meanwhile, Sea Dragon King will seize power from outside. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King roared crazily. What? It's him? Sea Turtle King and Sea Snake King could not believe their ears. The most low-key Sea Dragon King would actually do this. Could it be that his usual low-key and leisurely attitude was all an act? Chapter 568. At the moment when the secret door closed, I saw his unique shadow, an ugly face, a huge sturdy body, a comical pair of wings and his sacred shield. Could it be that there is another warrior in this world that looks exactly like him? It was him. It was him who incited the betrayal of the clown fishmen. I also saw the leader of the clown fishmen, Xiao Diao, killing the ocean knights. If not for the support of the Sea Dragon King, would the cowardly clown fishmen dare to betray us? Once Nine-headed Sea Goblin King said this, all the clown fishmen knelt down in fear, kowtowing and trembling. It was true that the leader Qiao Diao was guarding the door outside, but he was Empress Jellyfish's confidant. How could he betray them? Even if he betrayed them, it was impossible for him to ally with the Sea Dragon King. The Sea Dragon King was the clown fishman's most feared predator. He ate both men and women. If they pledged their loyalty to him, they would definitely let him play with their male and female bodies. It was a double humiliation. However, now that Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King had said it so firmly, the pitiful clown fishman's slave naturally did not dare to refute. He could only kneel down and beg for mercy, hoping that the few furious royal innates would be magnanimous enough to spare his life. Yu Yang and Impatience looked at each other. Just now, this Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King actually had the chance to rush out of the secret door, but he was worried that the Sea Dragon King would ambush him, so he pretended to be late. Just from this point, it could be confirmed that this Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King was actually a coward who was unwilling to take risks. He was definitely not the kind of person who would achieve great things. Compared to the Ocean Emperor Guanlan, Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King was simply not an opponent of the same level. What made people curious was why Empress Jellyfish would like Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King. A woman like Empress Jellyfish would definitely not like a cowardly gigolo. Could it be that the Abyss Manatee did not die, but was sealed in the secret door by the Sea Clan? Empress Jellyfish's real motive was to find that Abyss Manatee? All kinds of mysteries made Yu Yang suspicious. Even Impatience was very interested. She felt that while searching for treasures in the secret door, she might be able to dig up some gossip within the Sea Clan. It was a woman's nature to like gossip. There's been a change in the marine race. The secret door has been closed. Yu Yang made use of the three-colored map's presentation ability to secretly send a message to Shark King while the crowd was in chaos. Although the secret door is closed, there's no need to write a will so soon, right? Seeing that Yu Yang was writing, the Starfish General came over with good intentions and comforted him softly. General and IG, even if we are in a difficult situation, we should still maintain our confidence. As a sea general, we should set an example and take the initiative to boost our subordinates' morale. Especially now that their soldiers are at their lowest point, they need our encouragement even more. With all the innate rankers around, there won't be any problems. We just have to persevere and find the treasure of the secret door. Finally, we can lead our subordinates back to our beautiful homeland in glory. Achoo achoo. Sorry, I seem to have caught a cold. Oh right, where was I just now? Woof. Grey Wolf replied. Looks like you're very calm. Well done, as fellow echinoderms, I'm proud of you. It's a pity that you're a sea cucumber and a pet. If not, I believe that we will definitely become good friends. The Starfish General started chatting with Grey Wolf. Yu Yang was speechless. Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King sent a subordinate to chase after Empress Jellyfish at top speed to report the news of the secret door being closed. 10 minutes later, Empress Jellyfish came back very calmly. Her expression did not change at all. Yu Yang could even feel that deep in her eyes there was a kind of "this is just right" scary scheming. After checking the secret door, Empress Jellyfish comforted the crowd softly. She expressed that she had a way to leave and told them not to worry. At the same time, she magnanimously forgave the clown fishmen for their betrayal. This made the clown fishmen shed tears of gratitude, crying and kowtowing on the ground. Yu Yang could conclude that there was something wrong with this Empress Jellyfish, because she was too abnormal. Not only was she not worried about the secret door being closed, she even continued to unseal the Heaven Realm warriors. Could it be that she really had the confidence to reopen the secret door that required the blood sacrifice of 1,000 people? Or could it be that the Sea Dragon King was her true partner, and that Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King was just a cover? Just as Yu Yang was still thinking, another scream came from a faraway place in front of him. There were more than 20 Sea Clan innates gathered in front, and some of them were injured. Could it be that the Heaven Realm warriors were unsealed in advance? Empress Jellyfish, Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King, Sea Turtle King, Sea Snake King and Elder Shingpan were in front, followed by a large group of elite Ocean Knight. Yu Yang and Impatience also blended into the crowd to watch the show. On the snowy ground, a large pool of fresh blood appeared in front of everyone. The innate that Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King sent to report died a horrible death. He didn't even have a complete corpse. His whole body exploded and became a pile of minced meat. The only thing that could be recognized was his right hand. Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King's expression changed. He threw his remaining right hand onto the snowy ground hatefully and roared towards the sky. He raised his power to innate level 8 and prepared to face the enemy. Sea Turtle King and Sea Snake King's expressions also changed. This innate was one of Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King's right-hand men. Although his innate level 3 strength wasn't high, to be able to kill him in an instant without making a sound, this meant that the attacker was at least an innate level 8 or above. It was highly possible that it was a Heaven Realm warrior that had broken free from the seal and attacked everyone. That's not it. Yu Yang secretly transmitted to Impatience. This is a self-destructing type of beast that exploded from this guy's body. Exploding demonic parasitic worm, I've heard of this type of beast before. Impatience was a little confused. Although this type of beast is powerful, it needs the master to plant it into the enemy's body. It's not easy to achieve. Only an idiot would let someone plant the exploding demonic parasitic worm in their body. What if the person in the vegetative state is someone he doesn't put up any defenses against? Or, what if the person in the vegetative state possesses great strength and can suppress everything? Yu Yang smiled. He felt that he had somewhat guessed the truth. Of course, he was still a distance away from the whole truth. What he needed to do now was to watch the whole process quietly and then make his move when necessary. Under the atmosphere where everyone was on high alert, no one was willing to speak. The whole place was dead silent. Everyone was carefully guarding against their surroundings. At the same time, they were trying their best to rely on their team's courage to move forward. When they found the innates in front of them, Yu Yang realized that they were standing in front of a gigantic fortress. This fortress was made from meteorites from Heaven Realm and was extremely tall. The pitch-black entrance of the fortress was like the mouth of a gigantic beast that could swallow everything. Because they were anxious to obtain the treasures that might be left behind in the fortress, the brave Fur Seal leader, Lobster Tribe leader and other innates had already entered. Only Jiewei Yen, Walrus King, the spindle-like Dugong Elder and the other innates waited outside. The rest of the innates had already rushed in. Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King was a little anxious, but when he looked at Empress Jellyfish and saw that she didn't say anything, he could only control his temper that was about to explode. Yu Yang especially used Heaven Eye's divine vision to look at Empress Jellyfish's current expression. He realized that she wasn't angry at all. Instead, she was sneering. It was as if she was silently saying, "Nothing can escape my calculations." Was this Empress Jellyfish really that arrogant? Was everything really under her control? Yu Yang couldn't understand no matter how he thought about it. 3 Sea Kings, are you going to follow me to unlock the Heaven Realm warriors, or are you going to explore the fortress first? Empress Jellyfish affectionately held Countess Jiewei and Countess Yan's hands and laughed. You two sisters must follow me. If not, if you are scared by some monster, it would be because I didn't take good care of you. Let's go. Alright, do you two sisters want to bring along your followers? While Empress Jellyfish was speaking, she intentionally sized up Yu Yang and Impatience, then looked at Starfish General. Countess Jiewei and Countess Yen hurriedly expressed that they didn't need it. Especially Countess Jiewei, she was secretly crying in her heart. She was afraid that Empress Jellyfish would see through Yu Yang's identity. If she brought Yu Yang along, Empress Jellyfish would be suspicious. If she didn't bring him along, her own safety would be a problem. If the Heaven Realm warriors were to be unsealed and start a massacre, without Yu Clan's third young master and Sky Law, How could they resist? It's better to bring him along. If not, others will say bad things about me. Empress Jellyfish waved her hand at Yu Yang, Impatience, Starfish General, Beltfish General and the others and ordered, "Everyone bring 2 buckets of blood and follow behind us. Pay attention to the places we walk past and don't step on them. If not, you will trigger a trap and die a horrible death. Elder Xingpan, lead the Ocean Knights and stay at the door. Pay attention to the monsters. If there is a strong enemy, immediately alert us. Clown Fishmen, set up camp. Follow the original plan and prepare a large amount of meat." Yes. Elder Xingpan seemed to be the one that Empress Jellyfish trusted the most. Stepping into the fort, they realized that it was very spacious inside. Other than a spiral staircase leading upwards and downwards, there were also various halls, side halls, corridors and so on. There was also a special teleportation circle inside the fort. No one knew where it led to. Empress Jellyfish acted as if she had been here countless times. She led the way in front with ease, bypassing the long corridors and passing through the side halls. She arrived at a place that looked like a training hall. She personally moved a statue over and pushed open the painting wall behind, revealing a long and narrow passage. There was no light in the passage, but Countess Yen had already summoned the shining conch, which lit up the entire passage like a street lamp. After walking through the passage, there was a battle arena the size of a football field. What made Yu Yang and Impatience's eyes light up was that there really were Heaven Realm warriors sealed in the secret door, and there was more than one of them on the left. There was a Heaven Realm warrior with both hands shackled. His body was hung upside down by a long silver chain. The silver chain that was tied to him was strangely tied to the moon in the sky. Of course, that moon was actually fake. It was just a holy moon-shaped treasure. Yu Yang had never seen such a special treasure before. Although it wasn't a divine equipment, it was very close to one. It was practically a semi-god equipment. This crescent-shaped holy-ranked artifact that could attack, defend and cast a spell in one was an eye-opener for Yu Yang. Compared to the god-killing dagger that was purely used for attack, this crescent-shaped holy-ranked artifact was obviously more outstanding. A holy item that even Heaven Realm warriors couldn't break free from? If he didn't see it with his own eyes, Yu Yang wouldn't dare to believe it. However, this was the truth. Not only was there one truth in front of him, there were 2. On the right, there was also a Heaven Realm warrior. He was tied up by a pillar. This pillar was carved with dragon patterns, and there were 3 golden halos on it. It was these 3 halos that firmly imprisoned the Heaven Realm ranker, whose strength had reached Heaven-ranked level 2, in that pillar. Compared to the Prison Emperor's 7 stars pillar, this pillar that was carved with dragon patterns was more like a beast, and not a treasure. It seemed to have a life of its own as it was connected to the Heaven Realm warrior on the left. The 3 golden halos would also expand and shrink as the enemy struggled. On one hand, it would eliminate the enemy's struggle, and on the other hand, it would tighten the enemy's body, causing them more pain. Similarly, the Moon Saint chain also belonged to the Heaven Realm ranker who was imprisoned on the pillar. It also followed its master's will, and would occasionally pull up or put down the enemy who was hanging upside down. When the enemy wanted to rest, it would release an electric current to attack the enemy, using this to torture the enemy. Both of them were imprisoned under the enemy's treasure, yet neither of them was willing to release the other. Instead, they continued to torture the other. Beheading Moon Chain and Prison Dragon Pillar? The treasure is ruthless enough, but the master is even more ruthless. Yu Yang couldn't imagine it. Could it be that these 2 had been living like this for 6,000 years? How could they live like this? Chapter 569. 2 Seniors, this junior is here to listen to my ancestors' instructions. Empress Jellyfish bowed humbly and paid her respects to the 2 of them. You guys come here once every 1,000 years. The man who was bound by the prison dragon pillar's golden halo sighed. He completely ignored the gazes of the hundreds of people and closed his eyes as if there was no one else present. There's no need to persuade me. Unless the guy in front of me dies, I will not go out. Even if you die, I will not die. Bei Feng Jia Sua, if you have the ability, then fight me for another 6,000 years. Let's see who dies first. I, Feng Zhu, am a glorious human warrior, one of the top 10 rankers in Tong Tian Tower. Do you think I can't take down an outer disciple from the Heaven Realm's central palace? An outer disciple like you is not even a piece of trash. If you were not lucky enough to meet me, who is the weakest, would you be able to live till today? I dare say that if you met the prison emperor, you would be so scared that you would pee in your pants. Is Tong Tian Tower a place for you outer disciples to come to? This is the glorious home of our human life. The man hanging upside down on the beheading moonlock looked very young. If it wasn't for the slight beard that made him look slightly more mature, people would have mistaken him as a Shota. What? You xenophobic fellow, am I not a human? The man called Bei Feng Jiasa looked like he was going crazy when he heard this. That's different. You are a human living in the heaven realm. The man who called himself Feng Zhu shook his head seriously. His eyes were filled with pride towards his identity as a human, as if it was the most glorious thing in the world. As for Bei Feng Jiasa's doubts, he was against it. His face had an expression of, "We are not the same kind of people." From the conversation between the two heaven-ranked rankers, Yu Yang immediately knew that this was a long battle between the heaven realm rankers and the human rankers. It had lasted for 6,000 years, and until today, there was still no victor. As for how the two of them managed to imprison each other, it was still unknown at the moment. Their beasts, combat skills and treasures were probably similar, and their strengths were also about the same. If they attacked together, they would fall for the same trick at the same time. The chances of them being imprisoned together was very high. It was just that they were wasting each other's energy, refusing to let go of each other for 6,000 years. This was really not something a normal person could do. These two fellows. If they were not crazy, then they were paranoid. No matter how strong Prison Emperor is, he is still dead. In the end, our central palace is still stronger. Feng Zhu, it's not that I want to attack you, but Tong Tian Tower has indeed fallen. Look at these people, the strongest is only an innate, there is no heaven-ranked innate ranker. 1,000 years have passed and the humans of Tong Tian Tower have not even produced an innate elder. If it was in the past, would this be possible? Bei Feng Jiasa continued to ignore the surrounding crowd and laughed. I definitely don't believe that the prison emperor would die in battle. You don't understand him at all, he is invincible. Feng Zhu wasn't affected at all. Could it be that all the people who came here were lying to you? Bei Feng Jiasa asked back. Summer bugs can't talk about ice. You don't understand what invincible power is. Needless to say, I will never let you out. I will never forgive a thief like you who wants to sneak into the god's ruins and claims to be human. Feng Zhu closed his eyes and decided not to quarrel. Damned pighead. I will not let you go either. Lightning God Claw. Bei Feng Jiasa summoned a silver lightning eagle king that was formed from pure lightning. Blood Flower Whip. At the same time, Feng Zhu summoned a suffering vengeful spirit that was holding a blood-red whip. Almost at the same time, the blood-red whip and the lightning claw attacked the opponent. Rumble. The wind created by the blood-red whip and the shockwave created by the lightning claw were enough to force a warrior below innate to retreat. Other than Empress Jellyfish and Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King, the other innates could not help but retreat a step. Yu Yang and Impatience pretended to be weak and retreated 3 steps in order not to expose their abilities. As for the Starfish General, he was even worse. He retreated 7 to 8 steps and still could not stop. His ugly face was filled with fear. Just the wind created by the beast and the lightning explosion was enough to send an innate ranker flying. If the two of them regained their freedom, who would be their match in the current Tong Tian Tower. The Starfish General could not understand, but Empress Jellyfish was very clear. If the two heaven-ranked rankers could be used by the Sea Clan, they would definitely rise up. Other than Ji Zun and the Yu Clan's third young master who subdued the Abyss Manatee, no one would be their match, not even the Black Hell King. After being imprisoned here for 6,000 years, they still had the power of heaven-ranked level 2. If they regained their freedom and returned to their peak condition, Empress Jellyfish believed that the two of them would definitely not be lower than heaven-ranked level 3. Damn it, you actually dared to let the beast whip me again. I will not let you go. Lightning Claw. Bloodflower Whip. Yu Yang stared dumbfoundedly. The two heaven-ranked rankers in front of him were like children fighting. They would definitely take revenge for every hit. After a fierce battle, the two of them were riddled with injuries. In the end, they were in so much pain that they gasped. Could this be the legendary masochist? Even if they really wanted to fight, they should wait until they regained their freedom. What they were doing now was simply masochistic torture. Yu Yang sweated profusely when he thought about it. Of course, he knew that this guess was not possible. A twisted masochist would definitely not be able to cultivate to heaven rank. There must be a reason why the two of them kept imprisoning each other here. And it was not simple at all. Could not be what it looked like on the surface. Yu Yang's heart moved. If things were not like what he thought, then there should be another truth. The truth should be related to this meteorite fort. Such a huge fort, yet not even half of it had been explored. Its true secret should be even deeper underground. Two seniors, your interests are out of the ordinary. It is not something that a commoner like me can guess. However, if you have any instructions for me, please let me know. Empress Jellyfish's goal was not to release the two heaven-ranked rankers, Bei Feng Jia Suo and Feng Zhu. Her goal was to release someone else. Yu Yang and Impatience looked at each other and nodded secretly. As expected, other than Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jia Suo, there was a third warrior sealed here. Rather than saying that Bei Feng Jia Suo and Feng Zhu were imprisoning each other, it would be more accurate to say that they were watching over each other. The two of them had been guarding this place for 6,000 years. It was believed that they were guarding the seal. From this, wouldn't the person who was really sealed here be very scary? To need two heaven-ranked level 2 rankers to guard it, and to not leave it for 6,000 years. Could it be the ranker that was sealed by the prison emperor? Or was there another reason? When Yu Yang thought about this, he immediately became interested. I know, you are still like your ancestors. You want to release that guy and borrow his power. Bei Feng Jia Suo looked at Empress Jellyfish, who was respectfully bowing and listening. His face became a little mocking. But, let's not talk about the fact that you are unable to release that guy. Even if you can, do you think you can borrow that power? That is a terrifying power that even us heaven-ranked rankers have a headache over. Once it is released, I dare say that your entire Sea Clan will become food, and not what you are hoping for. Go back. The more power you obtain from the falling stars, the easier it is for you to lose yourselves. Feng Zhu closed his eyes and did not speak anymore. As long as the two seniors do not object, I, your junior, overestimate myself, would like to go and take a look. Empress Jellyfish bowed slightly and slowly retreated. When she returned to the front of the crowd, she glanced at her subordinates. Yu Yang sharply caught it. It was that everything is within my calculations expression again. Under the silent consent of Bei Feng Jia Suo and Feng Zhu, the two heaven-ranked rankers, Empress Jellyfish used her finger as a sword and drew a huge arc on the ground. What made Yu Yang surprised was that Empress Jellyfish actually knew a Heaven Realm runic circle that even he had never seen before. After drawing the runic circle, Empress Jellyfish took out the weapon left behind by the Abyss Manatee, Sea God's beheading blade, and exploded with the power of an innate level 8. On the surface, it looked as if she had used all her strength to attack with all her might. Only Yu Yang, who had heaven eyes, divine vision, and the more powerful impatience, knew that Empress Jellyfish did not use all her strength at all. When Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King saw that sea god's beheading blade, his eyes flickered. Yu Yang sharply caught it. His lips instantly curled up and he secretly laughed. After the heavy attack, the Heaven Realm runic circle on the ground was not destroyed. Instead, it exploded with a dazzling light. A ray of white light rose from the runic circle and went straight to the dome of space. Finally, a strange sound came from the starry sky dome. All of the starry sky were extinguished like lights. Only Beifeng Jiasua's beheading moon was still faintly emitting light. On the dome of the sky, there were several pitch-black light pillars that shone down. At this moment, the ground also rumbled. The ground split open, revealing a stone staircase that extended deep into the ground. Yu Yang was very observant. He immediately noticed that this stone was black obsidian, which was completely different from the meteorites in the fort outside. Did this mean that the third person who was sealed was even before the fort was built? Could it be that the third person who was sealed was too strong, so the later generations had no choice but to build a fort made of meteorites in his sealed area? If Beifeng Jiasuo and Feng Zhu, the two heaven-ranked rankers, did not guard the place for 6,000 years, Yu Yang would not have such suspicions. But now, Yu Yang was 90% sure that this was the case. The last question in Yu Yang's mind was, what kind of person was worth two heaven-ranked level 2 rankers guarding the place at the same time? This matter seemed to be related to the Heaven Realm Central Palace Hall and the Prison Emperor. At least the Central Palace Hall and the Prison Emperor knew the truth. This sealed person who did not leave his name in history, who was he? Impatience also had this question, but Yu Yang did not answer. He only smiled at her to comfort her. Yu Yang thought. Luckily, according to the sealed obsidian prison, the seal was still a physical space, which proved that it was not too serious. If it was a ranker like Queen Vivian Li who had to be sealed in a black hole, that would be a real headache. Although it was different from the Blood Lake torture chamber, Yu Yang had reason to believe that the person who was sealed in this obsidian prison was probably the same kind of person. At the very least, it would definitely be a heaven-ranked ranker. Oh my God! Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King, who was the first to enter, let out a cry of surprise, as if he could not believe the scene in front of him. Yu Yang and Impatience looked at each other and prepared to go down. They wanted to see what kind of divine being could actually scare the innate level 9 Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King so much that he was screaming. However, just as Yu Yang and Impatience were preparing to go down to the obsidian prison, Feng Zhu, who was resting with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes and greeted Yu Yang. "Can you come over and have a chat? You are very strange, I can't tell if you are a human or a fishman. And your dog, it seems quite interesting. Its real identity is actually a sea cucumber, but it looks a little like a dog." Yu Yang replied. "Meow meow." Hui Tai Lang immediately nodded, indicating that he was an authentic sea cucumber. Chapter 570. Outside the secret door. Hand over the silver key. The giant shadow threatened the clown fishmen who were cowering in fear. Very regretful. Only the man in bloody clothes who was standing in front of the clown fishmen slaves dared to stand proudly. He looked at his opponent, who was much bigger and stronger than him. He shook his head calmly and firmly. "Before you unify the Sea Clan and become the Ocean Emperor, I will not hand over the silver key to you. You are looking for death." The giant shadow stretched out a hand and easily grabbed the man in bloody clothes. The man in bloody clothes did not resist. In the suffocating strangulation, his eyes were filled with determination. There was no fear at all. The giant shadow pressed the man in bloody clothes to the ground. The incomparably hard meteorite ground shook violently. The man in bloody clothes fell heavily to the ground. His arms were broken and his head was bleeding. However, he still struggled to stand up. He puffed out his chest and stood in front of the giant shadow like a spear. He did not speak, but from his clear eyes, one could tell that the pain that ordinary people could not endure and the fear of death that everyone feared were not enough to scare him. When a person was not afraid of death, it was impossible to make him surrender. The giant shadow looked at the man in bloody clothes in front of him and could not help but feel powerless and defeated. At that moment, his heart was filled with shame and anger. The giant shadow roared. The sound was earth-shattering. In the hand of the shadow, there was a shield with a lion pattern. When he raised it up, it immediately flashed with a cold light. A golden lion jumped out from the light and directly pounced towards the man in bloody clothes. As if it had a life of its own, it opened its mouth to bite. The man in bloody clothes slowly closed his eyes and did not dodge. He knew that with his own strength, any struggle would be futile. However, no matter how strong the opponent was, he could only destroy his own body. He could not subdue his own will. Hiss! A big splash of blood and a bloody arm flew into the air after being bitten by the golden lion. The man in bloody clothes stood still and did not move. Because of the pain, cold sweat the size of beans seeped through his forehead. Diao Diao, are you an idiot? How many years has the royal family of the Sea Clan enslaved your Clown Fishmen clan? Ever since the death of your Aishur elder, your Clown Fishmen clan has become the slaves and playthings of the underwater royalty. The huge shadow roared thunderously at the man in the blood-red shirt. Now that your Clown Fishman race has the chance to obtain freedom, you insist on being loyal to Empress Jellyfish, that damned whore. Did you lick her toes too much that your brain has become stupid? What's the point of being loyal to her? Will she give you freedom? You will always be slaves. Hand over the silver key, and I will grant you freedom in the name of the new Ocean Emperor. I will also grant you the territory where the Clown Fishmen will live in the future. I will give you the Fire Island in the 7th floor of Tong Tian Tower and the surrounding seas. Didn't you Clown Fishmen always wish to have your own territory? Now your chance is here. As long as you hand over the silver key, your 1,000 years of slavery and your lowly status will be gone with the wind. Hand over the silver key immediately. Sea Dragon King, you will never understand the Empress. Before the blood-red clothed man Qiao Qiao could finish his words, the golden lion pounced over again. This time, it swallowed the other arm of the man in the blood-red shirt. The huge shadow of the Sea Dragon King raised its right hand, and one by one, the corpse-eating demon insects were summoned. They crawled quickly, and while the Clown Fishmen slaves were screaming in fear and crying in despair, they burrowed into their bodies. Starting from their internal organs, they started to swallow their bodies bit by bit. The Sea Dragon King lowered its head, and its ferocious and violent eyes stared at the blood-red clothed Qiao Qiao. Is this what you want? If you go against me, the entire Clown Fishman race will be exterminated. Qiao Qiao's eyes were as determined as before. All the sacrifices are worth it. You will never understand the meaning of our sacrifices. The Sea Dragon King did not wait for Qiao Qiao to finish speaking, and angrily extended its hand to grab him. He fell heavily onto the ground. Then, with a heavy stomp, it broke Qiao Qiao's tendons and bones into 2 halves. This is the glory of our race. The road to the new Ocean Emperor needs to be paved with fresh blood. Before Qiao Qiao died, he muttered to himself. Although he was in extreme pain, he did not seem to feel it, and even mysteriously revealed a comfortable smile. Go and die. The Sea Dragon King crazily stomped on Qiao Qiao's head, and then killed all the Clown Fishmen. In the end, it was still angry and roared towards the sky. The roar reverberated in the Ocean God Palace. It lasted for a long time. At this moment, a trembling Clown Fishman who had just walked into the warrior guild of Tong Tian Tower level, bowed to the receptionist of Tong Tian Tower habitually like a slave, and asked respectfully, "May I know if you can send me a top-secret letter? The kind that, other than the recipient, no one else can accept or read." The receptionist of the warrior guild nodded his head solemnly. A top-secret letter requires 1,000 gold coins. May I know who you want to send it to? The clown fishman shook his head timidly. I don't have money, but can you ask for it from the recipient? The recipient will definitely pay. The receptionist shook his head. There is no such precedent in the warrior guild. Can you tell me, who is the recipient? The clown fishman didn't reply, and only respectfully took out a sealed letter that he had written long ago from his bosom. He raised it high above his head, and habitually presented it to the receptionist like a slave presenting a report to his master. When the receptionist saw the name of the recipient, his expression immediately changed. Without any hesitation, he knelt down and received the letter. There is no precedent in the Warrior Guild for receiving money after sending a letter, but if you want to send this letter to this recipient, I can help you pay in advance. May I know if you have any words to pass on to the recipient? I, the lowly me, am only conveying the wishes of my master. I did not say anything myself to pass on to the recipient. The clown fishman took out a shining silver key from his bosom, and passed it to the receptionist, who was still in awe of the recipient. My master's second wish, may the recipient temporarily keep this silver key. When the receptionist received the silver key, the clown fishman bowed again and again. The clown fishman walked out of the entrance of the warrior guild, and slowly knelt on the ground. He kowtowed 3 times towards the direction of the boundless ocean. Then, he pulled out a short dagger from his waist and pierced it through his heart. Before he died, the clown fishman's lips curved into a smile. It was exactly the same smile as Diao Diao's before he died. Inside the secret door, meteorite fort, battle arena. Feng Zhu laughed out loud. Very interesting, I have not seen such an interesting person and beast in a long time. Yu Yang replied in a deadpan manner, same here. Bei Feng Jia also became interested and asked, what's the situation outside now? Is the prison emperor really dead? Prison emperor? Maybe, almost. Maybe he's already dead. Yu Yang's reply made Bei Feng Jia and Feng Zhu feel dizzy. The Heaven Realm gate is really closed? Have you heard the news about the Central Hall of Heaven Realm? Do you know who are the 3 great leaders of Heaven Realm fighting against the prison emperor? Are they the 4 hall masters of the Central Hall? Bei Feng Jia asked again. I have never been to the Heaven Realm gate before, so I don't know. I heard that there are a lot of town security guarding there, so I don't dare to go. I don't know any hall masters, but I do know a few people from the Central Hall of Heaven Realm. He Hu, Song Yen, Yen Zun and Yen Zong. I have seen them all when I was eating supper. All of them look like they deserve a beating and are very arrogant. Oh right, I heard that He Hu was arrested by the police when he went to the celestial world for a bath and a massage. You should know that it's the crackdown period now. It would be weird if he wasn't arrested. I even saw his nude photo in the newspaper. Yu Yang exaggerated. He Hu? Who is He Hu? Bei Feng Jia completely did not remember that there was such a person in the Central Hall. I heard that he is the water eldership of the Central Hall. Sai, as a government official, he actually went to the celestial world for a bath and a massage at public expense. How can we peasants endure this? Yu Yang's tone changed as he clapped his hands in celebration. Luckily, He Hu got depression and committed suicide. Depression? Committed suicide? Bei Feng Jia realized that after staying here for 6,000 years, his thoughts could not keep up with the changes outside. That's the official explanation. Yu Yang expressed that the commoners would not know the truth. Then, who are the 3 great leaders of Heaven Realm who fought against the prison emperor? Feng Zhu was also puzzled. I think they are called Mingyu Guang, Jiu Shao and Void. Why? Are they your friends? Yu Yang's half-truths made Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jia's heads swell. However, impatience was secretly laughing at the side. How is that possible? The 3 great leaders of Western Heaven Realm fought against the prison emperor. They are the 3 great guides for our Tong Tian Tower warriors to ascend to the Western Heaven Realm. Feng Zhu's face revealed an expression of disbelief. Not only him, even Bei Feng Jia Suo, who came from the Central Hall of Heaven Realm, had a face full of astonishment. He could not believe that this was the truth. When Yu Yang saw their expressions, he knew that there was another truth in history. However, to him, the truth of the history from 6,000 years ago was not important anymore. We're almost done talking, we should enter the obsidian prison. Impatience pulled Yu Yang. If they continued to talk nonsense, Countess Jie Wei might lose her life. That's right, if you don't work hard, your wages will be deducted. You guys can slowly guard the place. When there's time in the future, I'll introduce the guardian to you guys. Her name is Ma Wei. She looks pretty good, but her temper is a little as stubborn as you guys. You guys should have a common language. Yu Yang waved his hands, looking extremely confident and at ease. Together with Phoenix Fairy Beauty, he flew into Obsidian Prison. Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jia Suo were left in a daze as they looked at each other. Hey, who was the Water Elder of the Central Hall's outer court, but who was this beautiful guardian Ma Wei? The more they thought about it, the more confused they became. When they looked at the stars in the dome above them, they saw that they were shining one by one. The 2 closed their eyes again. The obsidian prison also had 2 floors. The upper floor had many strange demon statues that faintly formed a spell, arranged in an orderly manner. On top of every demon statue, there was a paragraph of text. Yu Yang, who had inherited the tragic guy's mother's knowledge, could also recognize a part of it. These demon statues all recorded a certain demon. According to some of the same text, Yu Yang deduced that they were once rankers from the demon abyss. When Yu Yang reached the lower floor of the prison, he found that Empress Jellyfish had already fallen on the ground. She didn't look like she was injured. Instead, she was affected by some kind of beast's special skill. This Sea Clan's strongest female warrior was currently in a deep sleep, Jie Wei and the others were so scared that they huddled together. As for 9-headed Sea Goblin King, he knelt down in front of a 50 meters tall ancient demon and sincerely swore his loyalty. Yao Feng solemnly swears with my life that if Master bestows me with power and makes me the new Ocean Emperor, Yao Feng will forever be loyal to Master. Chapter 571. How did 9-headed Sea Goblin King become loyal to the sealed ancient demon in the blink of an eye? Even with Yu Yang's brain, he could not understand it. Seeing Yu Yang and Impatience come in, Countess Jie Wei's eyes flashed with joy and secretly nodded towards them. On the contrary, Countess Yan's face was pale. She was a little afraid, but due to the situation, she could not escape and could only endure silently. The previously arrogant Starfish General was now withered. In front of the 50-meter-tall ancient demon, he was simply an ant. If the other party did not attack, he would probably die with just a breath. As for the other ocean generals and ocean knights, there was no need to mention them. They all curled up into a ball and shivered like typhoid patients soaked in cold water. Yu Yang raised his head. He looked at the 50-meter-tall ancient demon. He recognized it as one of the demon statues outside. Moreover, it was the one on the left of the 4 demon statues beside the ancient demon king statue. This ancient demon's strength was only heaven-ranked level 1. It was about the same as Wang Jin in the death arena. Compared to Tsang Yan's 4 generals, it was actually slightly weaker. Of course, in Tong Tian Tower, heaven-ranked level 1's strength could completely sweep everyone except for a few people. If this ancient demon ran out, he would definitely be invincible. What happened? How did 9-headed Sea Goblin King become a kowtowing insect? Yu Yang expressed his confusion. It's because of this. This demon wanted to make a demon contract with Empress Jellyfish to help her become the new Ocean Emperor. Empress Jellyfish said that as a female, it would be difficult for her to become the female Ocean Emperor. Thus, she recommended 9-headed Sea Goblin King. This demon used a secret technique to hypnotize Empress Jellyfish. Then, he asked Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King if he was willing to sign a demon contract. If he was willing, then he would be bestowed with power and help him become the new Ocean Emperor. Countess Jie Wei explained quietly. Countess Yen was confused and dissatisfied. Why did Jie Wei explain to her subordinate? Now was not the time to talk. Countess Yen wanted to stop her a few times. In the end, seeing that Jie Wei did not stop and instead whispered to her subordinate, she could only sigh in her heart. Hopefully Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King did not hear her. Otherwise, Jie Wei would definitely get into big trouble. The 50-meter-tall ancient demon laughed loudly as he drank the fresh blood offered by Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King's subordinates. Trust me, MOG. 1,000 years ago, I also bestowed demon blood to your sea clan's Ocean Emperor. At that time, it was also Empress Jellyfish who brought him here. Even though the ancient demon was not fluent in the common language of the continent and had a strong accent of the demon abyss language, everyone could still understand it. It turned out that 1,000 years ago, Empress Jellyfish had brought the Ocean Emperor Guanlan here. No wonder a human warrior like Guanlan could become the Ocean Emperor. It turned out that he had also obtained the power of the ancient demon. Devil contract, forever falling into the path of the devil, taking the devil as master, becoming the devil's slave. The ancient demon pierced its 5 claws deep into its heart. Then, with its sharp claws dripping with blood, it slowly drew a huge demon contract circle beside the Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King. A terrifying red light burst out from the huge diagram. An extremely sinister demon head appeared above the Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King's head. The ancient demon placed his hand on the blood-red, hideous demon head and poured all of his energy into it. An evil and huge magic ball of energy appeared in the mouth of the devil's head. The red light flickered. Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King stood up and continuously absorbed the evil magic ball of energy in the mouth of the devil's head. Its body gradually demonized and grew twisted demon horns, bat-like demon wings and a long spiked tail. Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King's originally handsome appearance disappeared. His mouth was filled with terrifying sharp teeth, his 10 fingers were as sharp as daggers and his body started to burn with raging flames. He roared towards the sky and absorbed the devil's head into his body. In an instant, his power rose from innate level 9 to the peak of innate level 10. Your potential is not bad. Turns out that the Ocean Emperor who accepted the demon contract did not have the same potential as you. The ancient demon sighed tiredly. It waved its sharp claws and instructed Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King, "Listen, my slave. You must prepare more fresh blood for me. In order to grant you power, I have used up all of my energy. I need at least a few years to fully recover. Of course, I will give you fresh blood, and a lot of it." Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King laughed towards the sky. He waved his hand. The 4 innates behind him immediately took out 4 different types of weapons. There was a battle axe, a battle halberd and a longbow with light attribute. The last one was a holy sword. The weakest innate tore off his cloak and revealed his real body. He was an innate level 10 winged clan ranker who looked very similar to the Sky Emperor. The only difference was the armors on their bodies. The Sky Emperor had a radiant sacred armor, while this man didn't. He only had a holy sword. Radiant sacred armor? It was now Yu Yang's collection. Although this holy armor was damaged in the death arena, Yu Yang used Nirvana Flame to repair it successfully. He even used Heaven Runes to raise its level to a middle-grade radiant sacred armor. It was much more powerful than the one worn by the Sky Emperor. The ancient demon was extremely furious at Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King's betrayal. However, he was very sensible and did not recklessly settle the score with Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King while he was still weak. He only pointed at Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King and scolded, "Traitorous slave who deceived master. When I recover my strength, it will be your death." The punishment for betraying the contract will forever be your nightmare. Don't think that you can be proud for long." Nine-headed Sea Goblin King laughed. "Fool, you will be sealed in this obsidian prison forever. How can you use the demon contract to punish me? If you have the ability, punish me now. I'll wait. Aren't you very angry? Come, come. I, the Ocean Emperor, will wait here. Let's see if you will punish me in the end or if I will suck all the remaining energy in your body. I am very grateful for the demon energy that you have bestowed upon me. However, don't think that just because you gave something to others they will be loyal to you. What loyalty? That's bullshit. In this world, only strength is truly useful. Damn traitorous slave, I will not let you go." That ancient demon was fuming with anger. However, when he saw Nine-headed Sea Goblin King attacking him, he immediately roared like thunder and waved his claws to release an energy shockwave, forcing Nine-headed Sea Goblin King to retreat. At the same time, without waiting for the other party to attack, his body had already turned into a ball of blood-red smoke and quickly entered the obsidian wall behind him. On top of it there was a seal circle that was almost broken. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King was preparing to attack the wall and continue to chase after the ancient demon. However, the man who looked like the Sky Emperor immediately waved his holy sword to stop him. "Yao Feng, don't be rash. If the seal circle is completely broken and the demon regains its true freedom, it will be very bad. Although it is still in its weak state, it can still fight against the two of us. Now, the important matter is more important. We should not be entangled with the demon for too long." "Well said, my brother. When I successfully become the Ocean Emperor, I will definitely support you in becoming the new Sky Emperor. Xiangyu, we have always been the best of brothers. When the older generation of the 5 emperors fall, it will be the time for us to dominate Tong Tian Tower." Nine-headed Sea Goblin King used his demon claws and intimately patted the 8-winged man's shoulder. On the surface, both of them laughed and were extremely happy. However, both of them were secretly on guard against each other. If it was before he accepted the demon contract and swallowed the demon's power, Nine-headed Sea Goblin King would definitely not be 8-winged Xiang Yu's opponent. But now, the situation was reversed. 8-winged Xiang Yu lowered his head vigilantly and continuously congratulated Nine-headed Sea Goblin King for becoming the Ocean Emperor. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King also distanced himself from Xiang Yu's holy sword with some fear. After obtaining the demon's power, he now hated this kind of light power. Maybe you all need some time to adapt. Don't worry, as the new Ocean Emperor, I will kindly give you all this time. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King grabbed the sleeping Empress jellyfish and threw it to Countess Jiawei. Then, he pointed at the ocean knights who were huddled together and laughed maniacally. "When I return, if any of you do not kneel on the ground to welcome me, then it's very simple. You will all become the new emperor's sacrifice for ascending the throne. Let's go, there are still many elders and leaders that have not been dealt with." Xiang Yu advised and quickly flew out of the second floor of the obsidian prison. "That's right, they will all be the stepping stones for me to ascend the throne. Under my rule, there is no need for any elders. Only the Ocean Emperor is the one and only ruler." Nine-headed Sea Goblin King laughed loudly. He brought his 3 innate subordinates and left the prison proudly. When Nine-headed Sea Goblin King left, Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen looked at each other, not knowing what to do. A lump of blood-red smoke spurted out from the obsidian wall. It turned back into the ancient demon. The tired and weak demeanor from before had completely disappeared. It had recovered to its original state. It could also be that it was just pretending, and everything was part of its plan. The 50-meter-tall ancient demon rushed towards the sleeping Empress jellyfish and said, "Beautiful Empress, I have already completed your agreement. As you wished, that greedy fellow has obtained the power of the demon. And you, when will you complete your agreement with me?" Empress Jellyfish, who had been sleeping all this while, suddenly opened her eyes. She who had returned to her arrogant self, looked as if she had never been hypnotized to sleep. Seeing her cold eyes that looked down on the world, Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen felt a chill from the bottom of their hearts. It was not that they did not know Empress Jellyfish's schemes, but only now did they realize that this woman was not someone they could challenge. It was really too scary. This woman was more like a demon than a demon. Everything in the world seemed to be within her calculations. The timing is just right, Empress Jellyfish muttered to herself. Then, she turned her face and said to the ancient demon, Demon G, do you know why I made an agreement with you 1,000 years ago? The reason is that you are too stupid. Don't think that I can't see that you have 2 brothers that take turns to enter and exit the obsidian wall seal. Also, don't think that your laughable tricks can deceive people. I only cooperated with you on purpose. If not, you are not even comparable to 2 clowns performing on stage. Beautiful Empress Jellyfish, could it be that you found a strong helper? Aren't you afraid that I will kill you? The ancient demon was a little curious. Helper? Empress Jellyfish suddenly turned her face and looked at Jiawei. Even if I don't have an expert by my side, the kind and understanding Sister Jiawei will definitely find a good helper for me. What? Countess Jiawei was shocked. Don't be afraid, my sister. I have already forgiven you for your betrayal. In reality, I was the one who personally sent your invitation to the Warriors Guild. Sister Jiawei and Sister Yen, if I wanted to kill the 2 of you, would the 2 of you still be alive today? To me, in the entire Sea Clan, the only loyal and useful people are the 3 Guardian clans. That year, after Elder Ai Shi, Elder Tai Bing and Elder Gu Shi heard of my plan, they all agreed to use your clansman's sacrifice to cooperate with my plan. Compared to the 2 of you, Xiao Diao is more loyal and full of sacrificial spirit. He is more willing to believe that I can revive the Sea Clan, but the 2 of you are worried that I will kill you. Sisters, actually there is no need for you to do that. The people I really want to kill are the same as 9-headed Sea Goblin King and the group of clan elders. Even if they die, they will not understand what is going on. They are completely stupid chess pieces. When Empress Jellyfish said this, Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen were sweating profusely. I thought I hid it well. Yu Yang sighed. 3rd young master, you did hide it well. I could not sense that you are an innate rancor at all. If I did not know the inside story, I would not have suspected you. However, everything was within my plan. So regretfully, I knew that you were the Yu clan's 3rd young master and Lan Ban was Sky Law at first glance. When Empress Jellyfish said this, Yu Yang sweated slightly. No wonder Empress Jellyfish always had ulterior motives in probing him. She had suspected him a long time ago. We can kill you now. Is this also your plan? Impatience giggled and asked. You will not kill me because I know a secret that you need urgently. It is a secret regarding the revival of the ancient Demon King. The Demon Brothers had always wanted to use me to revive the ancient Demon King. Moreover, there are 2 heaven-ranked rankers outside who have been guarding the seal for 6,000 years, Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasu. I believe that you have already talked to them before entering the dungeon. Empress Jellyfish looked straight at Yu Yang. 3rd young master, maybe you do not believe me. However, I want to say that it is impossible to guard the ancient Demon King with just Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasu. The ancient Demon King's soul has already escaped. Only his body is sealed in the dome above the battle arena. The Demon Brothers have always wanted me to secretly bring the ancient Demon King in. As long as the ancient Demon King obtains his body and recovers his strength, the whole Tong Tian Tower and all the living beings inside will be destroyed. 3rd young master, as the new prison emperor, you can't just watch the ancient Demon King revive, right? If you want to protect your hometown, the soaring dragon continent, if you want to see the Tong Tian Tower prosper under your rule, then do as I say for the time being. The thing I hate the most is when other people ask me to do things. Yu Yang spread his hands. What if I reject? You won't reject. 3rd young master, You're just a male chauvinist. You think that I'm very smart and that I've schemed against you. For this plan, I've been planning for 1,000 years. Although I didn't predict your appearance perfectly complemented my plan. So, I can't deny that I still managed to predict your appearance even though I wasn't expecting it. Third young master, don't be angry. After the plan is completed, I will die here. As for you, you can go out and be the prison emperor. You can continue to live happily with the woman you like. You are a smart person, why would you fight with a woman who will definitely die? I won this time, but I lost my life. You lost to me once, but you won your entire life. Isn't this compensation enough? Empress Jellyfish walked past Yu Yang. Therefore, listen to me for the time being. Kill the demon brothers and I will wait for you outside. What's in it for you if you do this? Phoenix Fairy Beauty asked confusedly. You'll understand after I die, and you might even admire everything I've done today. Tian Fa, I can't deny that in terms of cultivation, you're more talented than me. But in terms of scheming, I'm still better than you. Empress Jellyfish waved her hand. Clown fishmen and my ocean knights, now is the time for you to pledge your loyalty to me. Stick out your chests and die like a man. Empress, as you wish. In an instant, the originally trembling ocean knights and clown fishmen were no longer afraid. All the expressions they had previously were actually fake. At this moment, their faces were filled with glory and pride, as if death to them was the highest honor in the world. They retreated out of the second floor of the obsidian prison like a tide, and returned to the first floor. They knelt down and bid farewell to Empress Jellyfish. They stood up like fanatical believers. One by one, they pulled out their weapons and pierced their hearts. Their fresh blood splattered on the demon statues. The runes on the base of the demon statues were originally dim, but because of the blood sacrifice, they shone with a star-like brilliance. The rune circle shone brightly, and those sinister demon statues became dim under the blood sacrifice. Tens of clown fishmen surrounded the ancient demon king's statue. One by one, they committed suicide in front of the ancient demon king's base. Every one of them, before they died, would say the road to the ocean emperor is paved with blood. Although they died, they still maintained a smile on their faces. Yu Yang and Impatience saw. In their hearts, they were shocked. In terms of power level, Empress Jellyfish was not even in the top 10 of Tong Tian Tower. But in terms of scheming, this woman was definitely a top-notch schemer. Yu Yang had never seen such a terrifying woman before. Just by looking at the hundreds of people calmly dying for her without any complaints, it could be seen that she had great control over the situation. Yu Yang thought that he had seen the truth, but he did not expect that what he saw was just the tip of the iceberg. The real truth was hidden by this Empress Jellyfish. Incomparably huge. Let's try what she said. My intuition tells me that she has no evil intentions towards us. Impatience looked at Yu Yang, hoping that he would make the final decision. A very interesting schemer. It's a pity that she is dying of sickness. Yu Yang sighed slightly. Chapter 572. Obsidian Dungeon, 2nd floor. The ancient demon looked at Yu Yang and Impatience with disdain. One seemed to be an innate, and the other didn't seem to be an innate. With such strength, they wanted to kill him and his two brothers? Wasn't this a little too much of a joke? The ancient demon decided to tease the enemy. Against such an enemy, it really couldn't get excited. If it was bored, it would be too weak to play with it. Maybe you have some treasures like the radiant holy sword or something like that. Take them all out. The ancient demon believed that these two people had some treasures in their hand. You want treasures after beating you? Yu Yang used his pinky to pick his ear. He wasn't very enthusiastic, mainly because he had killed the heaven-ranked level 5 Hey Hu. Now, heaven-ranked level 1 monsters were a little unremarkable. Scoundrel, hurry up and kill it. Let's go back to our world. Impatience felt that they shouldn't waste any more time. Yes. Yu Yang stood at attention, indicating that the policy of listening to his wife and following the party would not change for 100 years. As for Grey Wolf, it directly pounced forward in its sea cucumber form. It wanted to perform meritorious deeds in front of its master and strive for a chance to perform. One must know that even if it wanted to show off, it wouldn't have many chances. It would have to wait for Little Onely, the Bloody Queen and the barbarian cow Shadow to come out. You are courting death. The ancient demon was so angry that his nose became crooked. A mere sea cucumber dared to challenge him? In another place, inside the fortress, in the treasure room of the side hall, refined gold, falling star meteorites, and other secret treasures were piled up inside the fortress. The first Seal Overlord, Sea Lion King, and the other overlords and elders were all overjoyed and prepared to split the treasures evenly. According to the customs of the Sea Clan, they only needed to give a portion of these things to Empress Jellyfish. The rest would belong to the Elder Guild, and the person who discovered it would get the biggest share. Did you find something good? Xiang Yu, who was holding the holy sword, and Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King, who was completely demonized, barged in. It's Yao Feng? Lobster Chief, Elder Ru Zhen and the others turned pale with fright. How did Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King become like this? Could this be the true power of the Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King? The Ribbonfish Lord was the closest to the door. It could not dodge in time and was caught by the Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, the Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King tore the Ribbonfish leader in half cruelly and poured the fresh blood into its mouth full of sharp teeth. After sucking the delicious fresh blood, the Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King let out a maniacal laughter that made everyone's teeth ache and body go soft. He's gone mad. Seeing that the situation was far from good, the Fur Seal Lord immediately summoned his beast and prepared to flee. A holy sword slashed down. The Fur Seal Overlord's enormous body was cleaved in two. It was Xiang Yu from the Guangming continent who was preparing to seize the position of the new Sky Emperor. In order to find a capable helper, he did not hesitate to support Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King to ascend to the position of Ocean Emperor. The Lobster Chief, the Dugong Elder, the Sea Lion King and many other lords and nobles helplessly realized that even if they had the advantage in numbers, it was useless against two innate level 10 rankers. Just as the Sea Flea Lord drilled into the solid meteorite ground, the Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King stomped down heavily. Rumble! The meteorite ground cracked. Countless amounts of blood seeped out from the cracks. The innate level 5 Sea Flea Lord was directly stomped to death by the demonized Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King. You have two choices. One is to hand over all your treasures and commit suicide. The other is to charge forward and be killed. The first choice, you will die more comfortably. As for the second choice, I guarantee that you will die in extreme pain and miserably. Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King laughed crazily and unscrupulously. Let us go, we can worship you as the Ocean Emperor. Elder Dugong still wanted to stall for time. I'm sorry, I will definitely be the Ocean Emperor, but I want to be a dictator. The entire Tong Tian Tower's ocean belongs to me, Yao Feng alone. I, Yao Feng, will definitely not share my power with you old fools. I'm not an idiot like Guan Lan. You old fools have lived enough, all of you can die. Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King waved his demonic claws and easily captured another Sea Horse Lord. He did not care about the Sea Horse Lord's pleas for mercy, and directly strangled the Sea Horse Lord's hard shell to death, then forcefully twisted its neck. In the end, he even crazily bit off the Sea Horse Lord's head. He started to chew. Empress Jellyfish, who was sitting quietly in the battle arena, snorted expressionlessly. If the heavens want to destroy someone, they will first make him crazy. Standing beside her, Countess Jie Wei and Countess Yen trembled when they heard this, unable to control themselves. They were extremely afraid of Empress Jellyfish, but now they finally understood that Empress Jellyfish did not even care to kill them. The two of them were afraid because Empress Jellyfish had planned everything, including nine-headed sea goblin king accepting the demonic power, killing people in a frenzy, and even borrowing the Yu clan's third young master and Sky Law to fight against the ancient demons. Everything was in the hands of Empress Jellyfish. Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen knew Empress Jellyfish since they were young, but they only realized today that they had never seen through Empress Jellyfish clearly. My two sisters, sit down. With third young master and Sky Law's power, it would not take more than 2 hours to kill the two ancient demons. Empress Jellyfish closed her eyes and sat quietly. She waved her hand to signal Jiawei and Yen to sit down. Don't you two have a lot to ask me? Yes. Jiawei felt that Empress Jellyfish did not kill her even if she rebelled, so she might as well throw caution to the wind. Why did you kill the elders and clan leaders? The new Ocean Emperor is about to ascend the throne. Do you think it is a good thing to leave behind the conservative elders and the aristocrats? To the Sea Clan, our biggest enemy has always been ourselves. Our Sea Clan does not lack resources, nor do we lack descendant. We are born with many advantages. For example, the environment is comfortable, we have few natural enemies, the survival rate of young children is very high, and the growth of young men is smooth. Also, we have excellent physical conditions, we are born with great strength, and we have all kinds of secret treasures left by heaven-ranked rankers in the sea. These conditions allow the Sea Clan's descendants to grow up quickly. However, why did Yu Clan's third young master, Shui Tanlang, Yi Kong, Haida Fu and other dazzling new stars appear in the soaring dragon continent, Shui Tanlang, Yi Kong and Haida Fu? Jiawei, your future son-in-law Yu Ting is not famous in the soaring dragon continent. No one in Tong Tian Tower knows about him. However, you should know how much potential he has. How many Sea Clan Yus do you think have the potential to reach innate level 7 like him? Empress Jellyfish asked. Jiawei thought about it and felt that it was true. Although there were many innates in the Sea Clan, the younger generations were all trash, including many princes and princesses of the royal family. Don't even mention comparing them to the abnormal genius, Yu Clan third young master. Compared to Shui Tanlang, Yi Kong, Haida Fu and the other young warriors, the younger generation of the Sea Clan would also be ashamed. They had only trained for 20 years, and they were even training on their own. All of them were preparing to become innates. Compared to the Sea Clan youths who could only become innates after training for 300 to 500 years, this kind of difference was like heaven and earth. The most important point was that the Sea Clan lived in the higher levels of Tong Tian Tower. They were at least in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. They were born with great strength. For example, the royal family born in the 10th floor of Tong Tian Tower had the strength of a normal level 6 when they were born. This was a realm that the human warriors of the soaring dragon continent could never reach in their lifetime. However, in a short span of 20 years, the human youths had caught up and easily surpassed the Sea Clan youths. When the human youths started to become innates, they would leave all their opponents far behind, not giving the Sea Clan youths any chance to catch up. The innates of the Sea Clan are almost all old fellows. If they did not obtain the energy or treasures of the fallen heaven-ranked innates, they would not have the strength they have today. They are still alive and have become an obstacle to the future of the Sea Clan. If I don't kill them, should I let them continue to destroy the future of the Sea Clan? Empress Jellyfish raised her eyelids. Her gaze was as sharp as a sword as she stared at Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen. When I married Guanlan, I had the intention to change the future of the Sea Clan. If I was really like what you are worried about, would I let you have sons and daughters with him? My two sisters, I don't need anyone to understand what I am doing. However, I hope that you don't think that I have done a lot of things to let you down. On the contrary, for the future of the Sea Clan, I can completely tolerate all these. This is because the children that Guanlan and you gave birth to are indeed outstanding descendants. For example, your daughter Yuan Jiawei. Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen could not help but tremble slightly. So this sister knew about the matter between them and Guanlan. I don't blame you, because in my early years I could not bear children. Although Guanlan did not know about it, it was actually me who arranged for him to meet with you secretly. When Empress Jellyfish said this, Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen sweated even more. You don't blame third young master? Countess Yen gathered her courage and asked. Empress Jellyfish could forgive her Jiawei because they were sisters. However, this did not mean that she would forgive Yu Clan's third young master. After all, Yu Clan's third young master had killed Sea Dragon Crown Prince, Sea Anemone Crown Princess, and other princes and princesses. These were all Empress Jellyfish's flesh and blood. Towards this question, Empress Jellyfish's face revealed a mocking expression. What a joke! Could it be that until now you still think that Sea Dragon and Sea Anemone are my children? They are my maids, princesses and princes born from clownfish that swallowed the transformation pearl. Do you really think that I would have a son with Sea Dragon and Yao Feng, those two idiots? In my eyes, they are not even comparable to the rubbish floating on the surface of the sea. Jiawei was a little confused. Then, why did you put a bounty of 10 million on third young master? After asking this question, she immediately understood. Creating momentum. Empress Jellyfish was actually creating momentum for Yu Clan's third young master. She was using this to publicize his strength and push him into the eyes of Tong Tian Tower's warriors. After Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen understood this point, they could not understand the motive of creating momentum. Why did she want to create momentum for Yu Clan's third young master? Empress Jellyfish would never marry third young master. Towards the Sea Clan, third young master only had hatred and killing. He did not help them. Why would Empress Jellyfish want to publicize for the enemy? Ocean Emperor Guanlan is an outstanding man. You know this as well. But in my eyes, he is not outstanding enough. Guanlan has ambition, but his ambition is only limited to Tong Tian Tower's sea region. No matter how big he is only an innate elder. Strictly speaking, Guanlan is just a man who defends his achievements but does not advance. If I was a man, I would definitely do better than him. Unfortunately, I am not. Empress Jellyfish slowly closed her eyes, hiding her sharp gaze. That day when he went to Fire Island, I knew that he would definitely die. A normal genius meeting an exceptional genius that only appears once in 10,000 years, he would definitely not be able to come back alive. Could it be that Guanlan's death will help the Sea Clan in the future? Jiawei was furious. Guanlan had always been the man she loved deeply. Empress Jellyfish knew that he would be killed by Yu Clan's third young master, yet she did not stop him? You? Countess Yen was also very angry. Although it is fated, we are still husband and wife. At that time, I tried to persuade him, but he was deeply afraid of me and was extremely guarded against me. He did not listen to my persuasion at all. Once Empress Jellyfish said this, Jiawei and Yen were immediately discouraged. They could not get angry even if they wanted to. Indeed, with Guanlan's attitude towards Empress Jellyfish, it would be weird if he listened to her. Then and she was sent by you? Jiawei asked unwillingly. No, I have never talked to Enshi before. I have no need to get to know a person with hatred and paranoia. Empress Jellyfish looked proud. Actually, my real target is Yu Clan's third young master. I have been preparing for this since 1,000 years ago. Yu Clan's third young master is the most important person in my revival plan. 1,000 years ago, Yu Clan's third young master was not even born. Countess Yen felt that Empress Jellyfish had gone crazy from scheming. In this world, there is a 5,000-year-old meteor shower pearl. Empress Jellyfish smiled indifferently. I picked it up in Meteor Shower Sea's Death Abyss. Its use is to predict. Through the Meteor Shower Pearl, I saw that after 1,000 years, an exceptional genius would appear in the Soaring Dragon continent. Hence, I prepared a 1,000-year revival plan. Maybe because of my 1,000-year revival plan, the history that happened was slightly different from what I saw in the prophecy. However, my 1,000-year revival plan was not affected at all. Instead, it became even more perfect. You guys will never be able to feel that when everything is in your hands, you are like a mother incubating an egg, quietly waiting for the egg to give birth to a new life. That kind of satisfaction, that kind of accomplishment you guys will never be able to feel. Now I understand a little why the 3 great elders would support your plan. It is because you are too scary. Jiewei was completely speechless. One last question. You can convince the 3 great elders, and also order the clown fishmen and ocean knights to sacrifice themselves for you. But what do you have to convince Third Young Master to help you revive the Sea Clan? He will definitely not listen to you. This was what Countess Yen wanted to know the most. Third Young Master, I don't need him to do anything for me. Although the curse of the death abyss and the backlash from the prophecy almost killed me, Empress Jellyfish opened her eyes. Her eyes that were as sharp as swords became as gentle as water. At this moment, she was like a kind mother. When Jiewei and Countess Yen were stunned, Empress Jellyfish's lips revealed a mysterious smile. I worked hard for 1,000 years. Not only did I not die, I even gave birth to a very smart daughter who is very similar to me. You guys will never understand, and she will never know, what I, as a mother, have done for her. Chapter 573. Boundless Ocean, Meteor Shower Palace. Sea Dragon King was crazily massacring members of the royal family, elders, lords, clan leaders and other factions. Other than the slaves and servants, all of the royal family and nobles were wiped out, not a single one was left. On the ground, blood flowed like a river. The sea surrounding the Meteor Shower Islands was already dyed red. Hundreds of thousands of Sea Clan corpses floated up and down, filling the entire Meteor Shower Bay. It was a tragic sight. Shouts of killing, wails, screams, wild laughter. At Star-Gazing Cliff, groups of Sea Clan nobles were captured by the rebel army, killed and thrown into the sea. The noblewomen who had maintained themselves well as the beautiful female slaves, were raped by the beastly soldiers. There were too many of them to count. Kill, other than my Sea Dragon clan, the entire Tong Tian Tower's sea region does not need any other ruler. Sea Dragon King was covered in blood. All the sea generals, priests and guards who were left to guard the Meteor Shower Palace were killed by him. Other than the women who had become captives, none of the personal guards brought by the elders and lords survived. Almost 100 Meteor Shower Island, other than a few guards who were still defending in some natural strongholds or some hidden rooms, there were no longer any resistance in the open space. The rebel army quickly lost control and spread the flames of war to the innate rankers' houses. Kill them all, rob them all, burn them all. There were many rebels and they rushed forward. Most of the innate rankers who resided here were not on the Meteor Shower Island. A few innate rankers sensed the rebellion. However, they could not contact each other and could only fight on their own. Although the innate rankers tried their best to defend their homes, they could only hold on under the powerful attack of the Sea Dragon rebel army. Especially the 4 sea marshals and 10 sea generals under Sea Dragon King, all of them had innate strength. Once there was resistance, they would swarm forward and kill their opponent. Merciful Sea God, please open your eyes. We need an ocean emperor, but not a tyrant like Sea Dragon King. Sea God, is this heaven's punishment for us? Our Sea Clan has shed enough blood. Every Sea Clan citizen who had become captives were crying bitterly. Although the Sea race had secretly resisted Guanlan becoming their Sea Emperor, the reason being that he was a human and not a true Sea race. Today, the people of the Sea race discovered that the Sea Dragon King, who called himself the new Ocean Emperor, could not even be compared to the previous Ocean Emperor, Guanlan. The Ocean Emperor, Guanlan, was both dignified and benevolent. He loved his people as if they were his own children. He was never a dictator. In addition to accepting the supervision of the Elders Guild, he was also very compassionate to the poor vassal races. Every year, he would recruit outstanding youths from the vassal races to become the Ocean Emperor's knights. He gave the descendants of the poorest races a chance to stand out. The Sea Dragon King was completely a tyrant. Before he even officially became the new Ocean Emperor, he had already purged the entire noble class and killed all the outstanding descendants of the races. This kind of tyrannical ruler that angered the heavens and the people was always suppressed by the Ocean Emperor Guanlan and Empress Jellyfish. Only today did he bare his bloodthirsty fangs. It was only today that the people of the various races in the ocean finally saw clearly what kind of person the Sea Dragon King that they secretly supported was. Demon, he was even scarier than the Demon King of the Demon Abyss. If he had known this would happen, he would have continued to support the Sea Emperor, Guanlan. Even if he was a different race, a human, and not a pure-blood sea clan, he was still better than the pure-blood Sea Dragon King. The Ocean Emperor Guanlan, but after the Sea Clan lost him, they realized that they had missed out on an outstanding emperor. When the Sea Dragon King's rebel army that they secretly supported attacked the Meteor Shower Palace, they finally realized what kind of tyrant they had welcomed. Let the Ocean Emperor come back to life, we need him. We repent. Heavy rain poured down from the sky, just like the repentant tears of the Sea Clan. But everything was already too late. Other than the Meteor Shower Palace that the Sea Dragon King occupied, all the houses and shops were robbed clean. Many of the soldiers went berserk and started a fire, burning the buildings. Even the heavy rain was unable to extinguish the raging fire. Looking at the thick pillar of smoke that was twisting like a python, looking at the monstrous flame that engulfed the buildings, the people powerlessly sat on the ground. The legendary heaven's wrath might be like this. The heartless betrayal had incited the wrath of the heavens. The heavens had punished all the traitors and made them suffer in the abyss of suffering, painfully repenting. Hundreds of thousands of men who were escorted by the rebel army, waiting to be sent to the Meteor Shower Cliff to be beheaded, looked at the old and young, women and children who were locked up on the other side. But now it was too late for regrets. After the nobles were killed, it was the vassal clans' turn. The freedom that the Sea Dragon King promised the vassal clans in the past had already become bubbles on the surface of the sea under the bloody butcher's knife. Compared to these so-called free citizens, the people suddenly felt that the vassal clans of the Ocean Emperor's era were the truest life for everyone. Without power and without hard work, how could they dream of true freedom? Wasn't this a fool's dream? One of the four kings under the old Ocean Emperor Guanlan, Shark King, has received the Ocean Emperor's orders to return and pacify the rebel army. Any subordinates of the Sea Dragon King, immediately surrender and kneel down to admit your crimes. If not, you will be killed. On the Meteor Shower Sea, a tall man came through the waves, waving a silver tiger shark blade in his hand. He stood at the bottom of the Meteor Shower Cliff and let out an earth-shattering shout. Behind him, hundreds of thousands of Sea Clan's elites that were sent to the soaring dragon continent had all returned. The entire Meteor Shower Sea sounded the horn of war. First, a black line appeared on the horizon, then it quickly became bigger. Silhouettes gradually appeared. Countless Sea Clan's war beasts were riding on Sea Clan's elite knights, majestically heading towards the Meteor Shower Islands. Is this real? The Ocean God did not abandon us. It's the Ocean Emperor's Shark King. The expeditionary force has returned to save us. Long live the Ocean Emperor! Hundreds of thousands of vassal clans were overwhelmed with excitement. Every one of them could not control themselves as they shouted, screamed, cried, and laughed. With regards to the return of the Sea Clan expeditionary force, the faces of the Sea Dragon King's rebel army changed. Although the Ocean Emperor Guanlan was already dead, the accumulated power still made them feel intimidated. Once Shark King appeared, if not for the Sea Dragon King watching from the top of the meteor shower cliff, the rebel soldiers would have fled. The hundreds of thousands of expeditionary force behind him shouted loudly, adding to Shark King's might. The Sea Dragon King looked at Shark King disdainfully. What a laughable, illegitimate child. With your innate level 8 strength, you want to challenge me? Even Guanlan had to give way to me. Who do you think you are? Shark King raised his hand and the hundreds of thousands of troops stopped. They were as neat as one. When the hundreds of thousands of expeditionary force shouted, the entire meteor shower cliff seemed to shake. The rebel soldiers saw this and their hearts trembled. Immediately their morale dropped. I am only a general leading an army, serving the Ocean Emperor. The battle between kings does not belong to me. There will naturally be a battle between kings. Shark King's expression was abnormally stern as he knelt down on the surface of the sea. As he knelt down, all the ocean knights knelt down on the surface of the sea. This ceremony was the highest ceremony to welcome the Ocean Emperor. Could it be that the Ocean Emperor Guanlan was not dead? The Sea Dragon King was shocked. Just when the Sea Dragon King and all the rebel soldiers thought that the Ocean Emperor Guanlan had reappeared in the meteor shower ocean, a golden chariot pulled by 18 gold-ranked dolphin beasts appeared on the distant surface of the sea. On the chariot, there was a girl wearing the Ocean Emperor's battle armor and holding the Ocean Emperor's halberd. She was incomparably majestic. So it's a fledgling. The Sea Dragon King realized that it was not Empress Jellyfish, but an unfamiliar innate level 1 girl. He was relieved and immediately sneered. I, Hai Ingwu, am the daughter of the Ocean Emperor Guanlan, and also the heir of his bloodline and throne. Those who worship me, Hai Ingwu, as the Emperor, are my subjects. Those who are loyal to me, Hai Ingwu, are my soldiers. Today, the Sea Clan is in trouble. The Sea Clan welcomed the rebel army to cause chaos in the royal family. The ocean god is furious, and heaven's punishment has descended. If you do not repent, you will become food for the fishes and prawns in the sea. Hai Ingwu waved the Ocean Emperor's halberd. On top of her head, a 3-headed young golden dragon was summoned and roared. Although the young golden dragon was still small, all the Sea Clan could clearly feel that it had the same kind of dragon aura as the Ocean Emperor Guanlan's guardian beast, the golden 3-headed Dragon King. Innate level 1, you are simply looking for death. The Sea Dragon King felt that he could kill this Hai Ingwu with one slap. Would having a golden 3-headed dragon mean that she was strong? That was only a young dragon. Seeing that Hai Ingwu was only a level 1 innate, the rebel army soldiers were relieved. Luckily it was not the real Ocean Emperor Guanlan. Luckily it was not the real golden 3-headed Dragon King, otherwise they would be dead. Men, capture her for me. I want to turn her into a female slave for my ascension to the throne. The Sea Dragon King waved his hand and 4 innate level 7 ocean marshals appeared. Although their levels were slightly lower than the Shark King, among the 4 of them, only 2 of them could hold the Shark King back. One of them would cover and the other would attack. They believed that they would be able to capture Hai Ingwu easily. Jumping Clown, I really wanted to play some high intelligence tricks. Who would have known that there was no need to do so? Hai Ingwu turned around gracefully. In front of the 18 golden dolphins, Octopus Man Boss, Swordfish Man Ji Feng, Whale Zhang, Mudskipper Man Sui Zue, Crab Man Ao and the others came out of the water. Hai Ingwu raised her jade-like hand and stopped the Ocean Emperor's halberd. Third young master is still trapped in the secret door. Everyone, move faster. There is no need to capture that Sea Dragon King alive, just kill him. When the Sea Dragon King heard this, he was so angry that his eyes turned black. I have the power of an evil demon and am an innate level 10. Which one of you can kill me? He roared crazily and transformed into a monster that looked like an evil demon. All the Sea Clan turned pale with fright when they saw this. It's over. The Sea Dragon King that they supported was actually a terrifying evil demon that deceived everyone. Not to mention the vassal clans, even the rebel army soldiers were frightened. If the situation did not become like this, the Sea Dragon King really did not want to transform into a terrifying evil demon. However, the other party had a few innate level 8 and over 100,000 expeditionary troop. If he did not transform into an evil demon, he would be surrounded and killed by the enemy sooner or later. Although transforming into an innate level 10 evil demon was scary, as long as he killed Hai Ingwu, Shark King and a few other helpers, who would dare to defy him under his high-pressure rule. In Tong Tian Tower, power was number one. As long as he had power, he would not be afraid of criticism. After the Sea Dragon King transformed, he immediately exploded with the power of an innate level 10. A ruthless aura exploded. Bloodthirst and massacre dominated the desires of the Sea Dragon King. With a wave of his claws, thousands of vassal sea clanmen were swept into the sea. The number of casualties was uncountable. "You clowns dare to challenge me, the Sea Dragon King?" The Sea Dragon King laughed loudly. He flew up high and prepared to kill Hai Ingwu, who was wearing the Ocean Emperor's armor and holding the Ocean Emperor's halberd. "Damn it, even the third young master's watchdog is more powerful than you. Why are you so arrogant?" Beside Hai Ingwu, Fatty Hai Yikong, Shui Tanlang, Prince of Tianluo and the Li brothers appeared in front of the golden horse carriage. Among them, the Li brothers were holding onto two tall slave beasts, heaven-ranked level 2 abyss manatees. Chapter 574. If not for Yu Yang's appearance, the heaven-ranked level 2 abyss manatee would be the guardian of the Sea Clan. Now, the two abyss manatees were just slave beasts. The two intelligent abyss manatees were a little helpless. After all, it hurt their pride to be led by the Li brothers like watchdogs. However, they were already aware of their fate. Who asked them to be born at the wrong time? If they were born 6,000 years earlier and came to Tong Tian Tower, they would be the guardian of the Sea Clan. Now, there was no hope of becoming a guardian. It was already good enough to be a slave beast. Thinking back to that day, their companions all died under Third Young Master's God-killing dagger, Ji Zun's Hei Zi and Night Empress Meteor. It was better to live a bad life than to die a good death. They were already very lucky to be alive. The stronger heaven-ranked level 5 ancient slaughterer beast king was not even comparable to Third Young Master's slave. What was worse was that the heaven-ranked level 5 Hei Hu, the Central Palace's outer water elder, died just like that. The Yu clan's Third Young Master killed heaven-ranked innates as if they were cabbages. He did not care about your status in the heaven realm, nor did he care about your reputation. In front of the power of the ancient code, Nirvana flames, world-exterminating wheel, heaven-ranked innates would all stand aside. Moreover, it was not bad to be a slave beast of a strong rancor. At least there would be a perverted master protecting it. Anyone's slave would still be a slave. Hei Hu was not strong enough, so of course he would follow Third Young Master to conquer the world. A master like Yu Clan's Third Young Master could not be found even in Heaven Realm. Therefore, it was also a kind of luck to be his slave beast. The two abyss manatees saw that the Sea Dragon King was about to charge down and immediately adopted the attitude of a slave beast. They waved the long blades in their hands and welcomed the Sea Dragon King. This was the best opportunity for them who were eager to gain merit. It was very difficult for the two abyss manatees to gain merit. Whatever they did, there would always be Hui Tai Lang who would fight for it. This dog was a world-exterminating demon wolf, and was naturally compatible with its master. Furthermore, it was good at bootlicking and was extremely pampered in front of its master. Even if the two of them wanted to perform, it was impossible. Tong Tian Tower finally had a big battle. If their master knew that they did not perform, the fate of the ancient slaughterer beast king would probably befall them. When the Sea Dragon King saw the two abyss manatees coming towards him, he was immediately scared half to death. He knew very well what kind of existence these abyss manatees were. This was the Sea Clan's guardian god. Just one of them was enough to wipe out the entire Sea Clan. Although innate level 10 was strong, he could not even fight against one of his hand. Fishing net capture. Suddenly, several fishing nets flew out of the sea. It was the net of the Heaven Realm amphibious fish demon. This fish net was very special. It could cause Heaven Rankers Wang Jin, Three-Eyed Tiger Man and the others to suffer. The Sea Dragon King, who was not a level 10 Pekinate, was far weaker than Wang Jin and the rest. Even if he used all his strength to break free from the net, it would not be effective immediately. Furthermore, when the Sea Dragon King was just caught in the net, the long blades of the two abyss manatees had already arrived. Rumble! Rumble! The Sea Dragon King's body was hit by two heavy slashes and was immediately heavily injured. However, his life force was surprisingly tenacious, and he actually didn't die. Fresh magma-like blood flowed out of the demon's body. The Sea Dragon King fell towards the sea in pain. His two demon arms were broken and his body was distorted. He still wanted to escape, but the two abyss manatees who were eager to gain merit would not let him escape. They immediately unleashed their heaven-ranked level 2 powers and chased after him. One on the left and one on the right, they forcefully tore the demonized Sea Dragon King into two. The Sea Dragon King howled in pain. His eyes flashed with hatred. The demon head that was still alive suddenly turned around and opened its demon mouth, spitting out a destructive shockwave towards Hai Ingwu, who was watching the battle below. Roar! The two abyss manatees were furious. They swung out their blades and deflected the shockwave. They then stretched out their two huge palms and pressed towards the remaining demon head of the Sea Dragon King. One at the front and one at the back. They directly crushed the demon head and turned it into a paste. Seeing this scene, all the Sea Clan were shocked. They were dumbfounded and could not wake up for a long time. The innate level 10 Sea Dragon King was killed just like that. He was killed in an instant on the spot without any chance to resist. Moreover, the ones who killed him were the two abyss manatees that were like the Sea Clan's guardian gods. The rebel army soldiers were all dumbstruck. Start a war with the guardian gods? Wasn't that courting death? Moreover, the Sea Dragon King was dead. Who would they fight for? Even if they won, who would be their emperor? Sea Clan rebel army, this Ocean Emperor has ordered you to immediately surrender. Otherwise, you will be killed without mercy. Hai Ingwu waved the Ocean Emperor's halberd, and her stern voice resounded through the skies. Her shout completely crushed the will of the rebel army. The entire rebel army on Meteor Shower Cliff no longer dared to make an enemy out of this newly ascended female Ocean Empress. One after another, they scattered and fled. Even the four great sea marshals under the Sea Dragon King were so scared that they fled. Even more rebel army soldiers, under the pressure of the two abyss manatees, knelt down and surrendered. Octopus Man Boss, Swordfish Man Blast, Mudskipper Man Sui Zue and the others immediately chased after them. This was the best time to get rid of the enemy. If they did not take this opportunity to get rid of the enemy, it would leave a threat in the future. The four sea marshals under the Sea Dragon King must be eliminated as soon as possible no matter what. Not only them, the 10 sea generals under the Sea Dragon King must also be eliminated. Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others did not want to be left behind and chased after them. To them, this was the best chance to train. The Demon Abyss was afraid of the rise of Yu Yang and had already stopped fighting. Moreover, the great demon King Baruth and the other rulers of the Demon Abyss had a secret agreement with Yu Yang and were temporarily allies. Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others did not even have the chance to train in the Demon Abyss. The battle at the Meteor Shower Island was the best stage for them to display their skills. Welcome, Your Majesty, long live. As for the Sea Clan citizens, they were already kneeling with tears streaming down their faces, welcoming the newly crowned Ocean Emperor. Hai Ingwu. No one knew who Hai Ingwu was at the moment, but this was no longer important. The important thing was that she was the daughter of the Ocean Emperor, Guanlan. She had inherited his bloodline, power and imperial authority. Furthermore, she had quelled the rebellion of the Sea Dragon King the moment she returned. She even had the support of 2 abyss manatees. Who else could she be if she was not the Ocean Emperor? Although this new Ocean Emperor was a woman, this did not matter. No matter what, she was still 10,000 times stronger than the Sea Dragon King. For the first time, the Sea Clan citizens were sincerely kneeling on the ground, welcoming their Ocean Emperor. In the sky, the rain had stopped without anyone noticing. A hole suddenly appeared in the sky that was filled with dark clouds. The 2 abyss manatees deflected the last shockwave that the Sea Dragon King spat out, creating a hole in the dark clouds in the sky. Bright sunlight shone down like a huge pillar of light, shining on the new female Ocean Emperor, Hai Ingwu. Long live! When the Sea Clan citizens saw this, they thought that it was the will of the heavens and kowtowed to Hai Ingwu with even more reverence. Hai Ingwu did not care about the citizens worshipping her, but hurriedly flew towards the meteor shower palace. Her target was the secret door. In front of the secret door, an old man was already waiting there quietly. The new female Ocean Emperor, Nangong, greets you. This old man was Elder Nangong. His face revealed a benevolent smile. He first slightly bowed to Hai Ingwu, then slowly extended his right hand towards Hai Ingwu. When he opened his palm on it, there was a shiny silver key. Hai Ingwu thanks Mr. Nangong. Hai Ingwu also respectfully bowed to Elder Nangong. She nodded her head and extended her lily-white hand to pick up the silver key. Behind them, 4 expeditionary army sea marshals who only listened to Empress Jellyfish flew over at high speed. They kneeled on the ground, and the 2 people in the lead presented the keys with both hands. The Sun Key and Meteor Shower Key that were found in the Sea Dragon King's body, that were still stained with blood, were presented in front of Hai Ingwu. Hai Ingwu did not look at them, and only lightly waved her hand. The 4 sea marshals stood up in unison. One of them went forward and bowed respectfully. He raised his hand above his head and took the silver key from Hai Ingwu's hand. Then, together with his companions, they once again opened the sealed secret door. Inside the secret door, the snowy white world reappeared. Hai Ingwu glanced at Elder Nangong. Go, Nangong will be waiting outside the secret door for you and 3rd young master to return. Elder Nangong gave Hai Ingwu an encouraging smile. Hai Ingwu nodded silently. She bowed slightly to Elder Nangong, then strode into the snowy white world inside the secret door. The 4 sea marshals were like bronze cast iron statues, guarding outside the door, waiting for the new female Ocean Emperor to return. To them, this order had already been given a few hundred years ago, or even 1,000 years ago, during their father's generation. It was only until today that they started to carry it out. Meteorite Fort Battle Arena. Empress Jellyfish was nowhere to be found, but the 2 Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen were still there. As for Starfish General and the other sea generals, they had already gathered their courage, and went out to look for Elder Xingpan to lead the large army that was stationed outside. Yu Yang came out of the obsidian prison alone, but impatience was not with him. He killed the ancient demons so quickly? Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen were shocked. That was a heaven-ranked level 1 ancient demon with a body that was 50 meters tall. It had only been half an hour and Yu Clan's 3rd young master and Sky Law had already killed them? One must know that according to Empress Jellyfish, there were 2 ancient demons sealed inside, not 1. It is quite fast. Feng Zhu, who was hanging upside down, also felt very surprised. What treasure do you have on you? A divine equipment? Beifeng Jiasoa felt that without a divine equipment, this Yu Clan's 3rd young master would not be able to kill the ancient demons so quickly. Do you need a divine equipment to kill them? Yu Yang shook his head. Without a divine equipment, you killed them so quickly? Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jia Suo did not believe it at all. Actually, I was already considered slow this time. Yu Yang adjusted his collar and coughed. I just took a bath and changed my clothes before coming out, so I was a little slower. Took a bath? Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jia Suo could not understand at all. Countess Jie Wei and Countess Yen blushed. Actually, when they saw that Sky Law did not follow them out, they guessed that Countess Jie Wei and third young master had gone to do that. When they heard what Yu Yang said, they immediately confirmed that after Sky Law and him killed the ancient demons, it was still early and they went back to take a bath together. If this was the case, then how long did this brat take to kill the heaven-ranked level 1 ancient demons? How is that possible? You guys went in for less than an hour and a half. Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jia Suo felt that killing 2 ancient demons in an hour and a half, then taking the time to take a bath and change his clothes, and then walking out confidently, was a little too exaggerated? Actually, the fastest time I took to kill a heaven-ranked level 1 ancient demon was 1 minute. This time it took me 10 minutes to kill 2 of them. It was really considered slow. Yu Yang shrugged his shoulders modestly. When he said this, Feng Zhu, who was hanging upside down, immediately fell down. With a paw sound, he fell to the ground. Bei Feng Jia Suo also fell out of the prison dragon pillar and fell to the ground. The 2 of them were completely unaware. They looked at this harmless man who was smiling brightly like the sun, as if they had seen a ghost. Shock. Is this guy really human? Chapter 575. Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jia Suo did not believe that Yu Yang could kill a heaven-ranked level 1 in a minute. They could not imagine it. Even if they went all out and used treasures like Prison Dragon Pillar or Beheading Moonchain, they would still need more than an hour to kill a heaven-ranked level 1. This also depended on the size and race of the opponent. For those that were especially huge, like the ancient demons that would not die unless their heads were chopped off and crushed, the battle time would be even longer. Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jia Suo had to kill the 2 ancient demons. Without a day's time, it was impossible to complete it. One must know that fighting with 1 enemy or 2 enemies was not as simple as just increasing the time. 1 against 2, the battle effort would increase by at least 10 times. What level are you now? Feng Zhu really could not see through Yu Yang's real level. He thought that Yu Yang was a heaven-ranked ranker that was higher than him. Innate level 6, innate level 7. After killing the demon brothers, I leveled up again. Yu Yang answered. How is this possible? Forget about Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jia Suo. Even Countess Jie Wei and Countess Yen felt that it was unbelievable. It was not that there was no precedent of a lower level killing a higher level, but for an innate level 7 to kill a heaven-ranked level 1, this was even more exaggerated than an ant biting an elephant to death. If there was a difference of 1 level, due to the suppression of attributes or skills, it was reasonable for the higher level to lose. The problem was, how much difference was there between a heaven-ranked level 1 and an innate level 7? Forget about an innate level 7, even an innate level 8 or innate level 9 could be killed instantly by a heaven-ranked level 1. Forget it, let's not discuss this problem. Yu Yang felt lucky that he did not tell them that he had killed the heaven-ranked level 5 He Hu, otherwise they would go crazy. Of course, there were many reasons for killing He Hu. Firstly, Ji Zun and Night Empress had already heavily injured the careless He Hu. Secondly, there were many divine equipment and beasts surrounding him. In addition, Song Yen was selfish and did not want to save him. He Hu was isolated and helpless. The third and most important reason was that Yu Yang had used the nomological power bestowed by the Card of Destiny. He Hu was unable to resist it. Hui Tai Lang's world-exterminating demon wolf almost succeeded in devouring He Hu, forcing him to exhaust his life. Due to the Prison Emperor's 7 stars pillars restriction, when He Hu's teleportation failed, Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai used their divine weapons to attack him. While he was in excruciating pain, He Hu also suffered a fatal blow from Yu Yang. That was the newly mastered innate invisible sword Qi Shuang Hua sword. With so many heavy injuries, even if He Hu had an immortal body, he wouldn't be able to survive. The reason why Yu Yang was able to kill He Hu was because of a successful plan. Without Ji Zun and Night Empress, it would be hard for him to kill He Hu. Even according to Yu Yang's own estimation, he would be close to his limit if he could kill heaven-ranked level 3 Central Palace Hall's 4 generals alone. If it was an ancient slaughterer beast king that did not have enough intelligence, Yu Yang could use the power of the ancient code and Nirvana flame to threaten it, but it would still be difficult to kill it. After all, heaven-ranked level 5 was not a pushover. Heaven-ranked level 5 was hard to kill. Heaven-ranked level 1 was no longer a problem for the current Yu Yang. The battle with the ancient titan after the Blood Lake torture chamber was the most difficult battle. Because he had not mastered the nomological power, he had not received the heavenly sword goddess's guidance on his innate sword qi, he had not formed He Gui Tsang and Bai Shuang Hua. Not only was the ancient titan Wu Su extremely strong, his heart also contained a drop of God's blood. He was basically immortal. If it wasn't for Yu Yang possessing Nirvana flame, he wouldn't have been able to kill Wu Su. The ancient demon's demon brothers were not on the same level as the ancient titan Wu Su, who was also heaven-ranked level 1. The ancient titan Wu Su was not only heaven-ranked level 1. It was just that he had been tortured in the Blood Lake torture chamber and had fallen to heaven-ranked level 1. If the demon brothers met the ancient titan Wu Su, even if it was 2 against 1, they would still die a horrible death. Disregarding everything else, just the Titan Thunderbolt alone was enough to make the demon brothers suffer the consequences. Among the heaven-ranked level 1, the demon brothers were the weakest existences. Even the ancient slaughterer's body was much stronger than theirs, although their intelligence was slightly inferior. I still can't believe it. Bei Feng Jiasa made a request. Can you take out the ancient demon's demon heart for us to see? Don't tell me you didn't even take the demon heart, that's a good thing. The demon heart was eaten by my dog. When Yu Yang said this, Bei Feng Jia saw, and Feng Zhu fell to the ground with a thud and almost fainted. Hui Tai Lang cooperated and burped. Countess Jia Wei and Countess Yen almost fainted. Yu Yang thought for a while, took out a rune crystal bottle, and passed it to Countess Jia Wei. This was the demon blood that he had refined with Nirvana flame. It was a thank you gift for Jia Wei bringing it into the secret door. Originally, the demon blood was like magma that burned at a high temperature and had a dark red color. Now that it had been purified by Nirvana flame, a large amount of demon blood was condensed into 3 bottles. The color was bright gold and the energy was overflowing. It was already very generous of Yu Yang to be willing to give Jia Wei a bottle of such a good thing. Jia Wei did not accept it at first, but then she nodded and smiled. Thank you for the betrothal gift from the Yu clan. She was referring to the marriage between her daughter Yu Wen and Yu Ting. Although Yu Yang did not make the decision, he was very supportive. This way, the marriage between the 2 clans would not be far from success. Countess Yen was also not a person who would suffer losses. She immediately suggested to Yu Yang, "Third young master, I also have a little mischievous child at home. He is only 9 years old. I heard that your brother Yu Feng is extremely intelligent and has great potential. How about our 2 clans get married?" What the heck? Yu Yang felt dizzy listening to this. He was not a matchmaker who arranged marriages. He could not help with this kind of thing even if he wanted to. Third young master, when the matter of the secret door is over, I will personally go to the Soaring Dragon continent to pay a visit to the Yu clan master and discuss the marriage in detail. Countess Yen seemed to be very enthusiastic about this matter. Yu Yang secretly thought that it was a close shave. Luckily she did not give him a daughter. Otherwise, Shui Wuxiao and Princess Sisai would definitely think that he was here for the marriage. Actually, no matter if it was Countess Jie Wei or Countess Yen, they both knew that it was impossible for their daughter to marry the Yu clan third young master. Sky Law was by his side. If Sky Law knew about this, it would be strange if this female Ji Zun, who had just become an innate elder, did not explode on the spot. Rather than provoking Sky Law's anger, it would be better to marry the Yu clan third young master's brother. Anyways, it would be fine as long as they had a good relationship. The Yu clan third young master's future was limitless. Her daughter's aptitude was limited and she was not good enough for him. With regards to Countess Jie Wei and Countess Yan's good intentions, Yu Yang did not oppose nor support it. Anyway, these matters were decided by Yu Hai. He did not care. Moreover, he was already busy chasing after girls. How could he have the time to care about others? Cough, third young master. Beifeng Jiasuo opened his mouth. You also have a daughter? Yu Yang felt that the sky was dark and the earth was dark. It seemed that being famous was not a good thing. There were people getting married everywhere. What are you thinking? I am not married yet. Beifeng Jiasuo was extremely frustrated. How could he have a daughter to marry this brat? Moreover, even if he had a precious daughter, she would not marry this brat. What he meant was, he wanted to ask you if you want to join forces with us. There is a very powerful fellow in the Ice-Wind Valley that would drill out of the ground every 1,000 years. We have to expend a lot of effort to beat it back into the ground. If you come, we might have an easier time. When Feng Zhu said this, Yu Yang understood. It turned out that they saw that his strength was not bad and wanted to hire a helper. How much is the commission? Yu Yang first acted like a villain before acting like a gentleman. He asked clearly before speaking. Commission? Beifeng Jiasuo was dumbfounded. If I don't have money, who would work? I would not help you guys fight some underground worm for no reason. Yu Yang rejected immediately. Serving the people had long been outdated. Now, even the officials were serving the RMB. In one sentence, if there was no profit, there was no motivation without money. There's no need for you to do anything. Just stay here and help us keep an eye on the sky. As soon as you see the stars dim, increase your power and let out light. That way, the sealing spell formation will absorb the energy and activate again. Feng Zhu felt that this job was quite simple. Not to mention that Yu Yang could do it well, even an innate ranker could do it well. If they were not worried that the ancient demon king's substitute would sneak in, they would not even need to ask Yu Yang to stay and watch. Sorry, I have an appointment with a little beauty, I can't be late. Yu Yang expressed that it was more important to solve the problem of a single man. Don't you have any sense of justice? The ancient demon king is a big demon that everyone wants to kill. Beifeng Jiasuo felt that there was something wrong with Yu Yang. This brat matured too early. A normal human youth was at the age where they had too much of a sense of justice. A yawn. Yu Yang casually stretched and yawned. He seemed to be a little sleepy. Looks like Tong Tian Tower is really going to be destroyed. Feng Zhu fainted. Tong Tian Tower finally gave birth to a genius, but he was actually like this. It would be hard for them not to be destroyed. Your prison dragon pillar and beheading moon chains seem to be not bad. Yu Yang's gaze swept across the other party's treasures. Feng Zhu and Beifeng Jiasuo turned pale with fright when they heard this. They hurriedly shook their heads and waved their hands. No, these are holy items that are connected to our lives. Our will and the treasures are one. No matter what, we cannot give them to you. As for money, we have stayed here for 6,000 years. How would we have any money? Moreover, people like you should not lack money. I don't lack money, but the problem is that without money, I don't have the energy to work. Yu Yang expressed that he only had slogans to learn from Lei Feng. If he really wanted to learn from Lei Feng, he would become a silly child. How about this, you go to the Frozen Wind Valley to take a look first. If that fellow comes out from the ground, you come back and inform us. We will go and kill it, and all the loot will belong to you. Is that okay? If it was in the past, Beifeng Jiasaw would have despised Yu Yang. But now that he was asking him, even if he despised him in his heart, he did not dare to show it on his face. So troublesome. If I saw it and killed it, wouldn't everything belong to me? Yu Yang retorted. That's fine too. If you kill it, everything will belong to you. Feng Zhu expressed that he did not want anything. No way. Yu Yang shook his head. Why not? Feng Zhu and Beifeng Jiasaw felt a little dizzy. Everything would belong to him, why not? If I kill the fellow that comes out from the ground, everything will belong to me, just like how I just killed the ancient demon's demon brothers. But since you are asking me to kill it, there is no reason not to pay me a bit of commission. If this is the case, you are just ordering me to work and not giving me a salary. Big brother, no one can do this kind of work. If you don't give me a salary, who would do this kind of work? Unless you are an idiot. Yu Yang felt that it was unfair. When Feng Zhu and Beifeng Jia heard this, they immediately cried. According to what you said, we have not received a salary for 6,000 years, and we are still guarding here. This boss is too black-hearted, not giving us a salary for 6,000 years? Who asked you to guard here? Yu Yang asked. Prison Emperor. Feng Zhu said this name gloomily. We can't do anything about it, Prison Emperor is already dead. Yu Yang wanted to help but could not. At the same time, he was very curious. Prison Emperor asked you to guard here for a lifetime? Originally he said to guard for 100 years. Who knew that after the secret door closed, there was no news of him? We can't leave on our own accord, so we can only guard here. It has already been 6,000 years. If the ancient demon king is not killed, we will have to guard here forever. What a bitter life. Feng Zhu really wanted to cry. Who knew that the one who cried was Beifeng Jiasaw? Zhu Zi, you're fine. You're from the soaring dragon continent. It's natural for you to protect your home. I'm only here from the heaven realm to play. Why should I guard this place for 6,000 years? You guys are too much. Alright, don't pretend to cry. Let me think about the ancient demon king. Yu Yang felt that as the new prison emperor, he should have some responsibility. Thus, he asked, what level is this fellow? Ancient demon king? Heaven ranked level 8. When Feng Zhu said this, Yu Yang immediately turned around and left. Pretend I never asked. Chapter 576. Inside the secret door, Obsidian Castle. Yu Yang did not have the leisure to help Feng Zhu and Beifeng Jiasaw fight against the ancient Devil King. Firstly, the ancient Devil King had already escaped from the secret door. Trying to find this guy would be like looking for a needle in a haystack. Secondly, the ancient Devil King's body was still sealed in the Vault of Heaven. Not only was it sealed by the Vault of Heaven star formation, it was also guarded by Feng Zhu and Beifeng Jiasaw. Even a heaven-ranked ranker would not be able to forcefully snatch it away. Forget about the Vault of Heaven seal. Even the prison dragon pillar and the beheading moon chain were not to be trifled with. Thirdly, the ancient Devil King was paranoid and would definitely not step into the secret door again. Compared to the danger after danger, the freedom he obtained only after escaping death, he believed that the ancient demon king would rather lose his original body than enter the secret door world again. If you're not willing to help us, why did you kill the Devil Brothers? Feng Zhu was a little curious. Killing the Devil Brothers, Yu Yang did not receive a single cent of the commission. Because I was the one who asked him to kill them. The things he obtained will be the entire sea region of Tong Tian Tower, or even more. Empress Jellyfish returned. Her gaze was as sharp as a sword, looking straight at Yu Yang. You have wasted too much time. Luckily I still made it in time. Cough. Yu Yang knew what she was criticizing. It seemed like Empress Jellyfish had already guessed that after he killed the Demon Brothers, he would return to the Grimoire world and have fun with the Impatiens. Perhaps it was because he had spent too much time with the Impatiens. It seemed to have affected her plans. Yu Yang was a little embarrassed, but he was thick-skinned and pretended not to hear it. Countess Jie Wei and Countess Yen still wanted to defend Yu Yang, but Empress Jellyfish waved her hand lightly. Forget it, it won't affect the integrity of the plan. Actually, this is also good. After the last-minute changes, the enemy's suspicions will be smaller. My plan will also be more likely to succeed and be more perfect. Bei Feng Jiasa looked at her strangely. You let third young master kill the demon brothers, was it part of the plan? What kind of plan is that? Jie Wei and Yen were also puzzled. There was only Yu Yang. Only then could he guess part of it. He could even guess what Empress Jellyfish was going to say next, but he did not rush to expose her. He only smiled and waited for Empress Jellyfish to speak. Although Empress Jellyfish was an enemy, she was extremely intelligent and full of schemes. This kind of person would be a headache as an enemy, but if they worked together, it would be interesting to be an ally. If she wasn't cursed and on the verge of death, Yu Yang would really be looking forward to fighting her. Unfortunately, Yu Yang could tell. This 1,000-year plan would be Empress Jellyfish's masterpiece. Empress Jellyfish slowly closed her eyes. This is a plan that was formulated 1,000 years ago. You might have forgotten, but at that time, there was a little girl who suggested to Aisha, Tai Bing and Gu Shi that you should not kill the demon brothers and keep them alive. From then on, everything was for today's plan. You're that mischievous little girl from back then? Feng Zhu was shocked. There's no need to mention the past. Now, let me tell you my plan. Actually, no matter if it's you, the two sisters, me or even third young master, we are all in the plan. Empress Jellyfish sat on the ground and gave a mission to Yu Yang, Jie Wei, Yen and even Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasu. After everyone heard Empress Jellyfish's plan, including Yu Yang, they were all completely shocked. A word appeared in Yu Yang's mind. If there was one word to describe Empress Jellyfish's schemes, it would be terrifying. Luckily she is not a man, otherwise she would be even more troublesome than the Scarlet Emperor. Yu Yang secretly sighed. All right, even though we swore that only Prison Emperor can order us, we will make an exception for you today. Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasa muttered to themselves for a long time and finally made a decision. We will listen to you this once, but only this once. Inside the secret door, Snow Realm World. Icy Wind Valley. Endless snowy mountains rose and fell continuously. This was a world of ice and snow. An ancient demon was buried at the top of every mountain. These ancient demons were killed and sealed by Prison Emperor personally. Unless a deity descended, they would not be able to revive. They were once very strong, but now they had completely become the dust of history. They were no longer important and were only a part of Prison Emperor's glorious achievements. In the middle of the countless snowy mountains, there was a huge valley with icy wind cutting the surface. Here, every drop of water would turn into ice and the cold wind was like a blade. The only thing that did not match the surrounding snowy mountains was that at the bottom of Icy Wind Valley, there was an extremely hot lava lake with boiling lava. Inside, there was a strong demon sealed. One of the 4 great ancient demon marshals under the ancient demon king. This demon lord of the demonic demon clan was famous for its cunning. It was the only ancient demon that had successfully faked its death and used its temporary death to deceive Prison Emperor. This demon lord called Yan Shua had gradually broken free from the seal 3,000 years ago. Almost every 1,000 years, it would drill out from the ground and try to break the demon cemetery where all the ancient demons were buried. Icy Wind Valley's seal. If it wasn't for Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasa, the 2 heaven-ranked rankers, suppressing it, it would have successfully escaped 2,000 years ago. Today, when it sensed the death of the demon brothers, this demon lord that had been waiting for 1,000 years immediately awoke from the bottom of the magma lake. After suppressing the excitement in its heart, it slowly swam in the magma and floated up. When its head emerged from the surface of the lava lake, it immediately showed a disgusted expression. It saw the two people that it did not want to see the most. They were the two heaven-ranked rankers that had been guarding the ancient demon king in front of the vault of Heaven's star seal, Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasu. Bullshit, why haven't you guys died? It has already been 6,000 years, why are you guys still alive? This is really too unfair. We, the ancient demons, enjoy a long life. You guys are just lowly humans with a short life. Just like bean sprouts, it will sprout and grow leaves, but very quickly, summer will pass and autumn will come. The leaves will immediately wither and turn into mud. I really don't understand how such a lowly race could actually defeat the noble ancient demons. We are the descendants of the gods, but you guys are a complete failure, a puppet made from mud. Demon Lord Yan Shuo looked at Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasuo and started to curse them with deep hatred. So much nonsense. Feng Zhu snorted coldly. He and Bei Feng Jiasuo exploded and reached the extreme realm of heaven-ranked level 2. They fiercely attacked Yan Shuo. The current demon Lord Yan Shuo, after 1,000 years of accumulation, had already surpassed Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasu. He had reached the beginning of heaven-ranked level 3. However, below his knees, he was still sealed in the icy wind valley's seal and was unable to leave the lava lake. Otherwise, with Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasuo, they would not be able to easily suppress him. Demon Marshal Yan Shuo also increased his strength and released all the power and fire energy that he had accumulated for 1,000 years. In an instant, a pillar of fire soared into the sky like a volcano eruption. The blood-red lava in the magma lake shot towards the sky and gave out a deafening sound. Thick smoke billowed and filled the entire lava lake. Inside, the three people were fighting to the death. Boom, 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 boom. A battle that was similar to the one that happened 1,000 years ago was repeated. Half an hour later, Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasuo, who were bathed in blood, landed on a snowy mountain. Demon Lord Yan Shuo was crazily roaring at them. He was still unable to leave the surface of the lava lake. Otherwise, the two of them would not be able to escape from the battle so easily. Come out, prison dragon pillar. Feng Zhu raised his prison dragon pillar high up. 3 gigantic golden rings spread above his head. As long as it reached its limit, it could bind the enemy. Then, even the ancient dragon would not be able to escape. Among the many holy ranked treasures, Prison Dragon Pillar was a top-quality holy ranked weapon. Its use was completely related to the master's willpower. The stronger the master's willpower, the more power it could display. Beheading Moon Chain. If there was a binding-type treasure that could be compared to Prison Dragon Pillar, it would be the Beheading Moon Chain. When these two treasures were used together, their power was comparable to a divine weapon. Damned humans! You guys always use such despicable tricks. Demon Lord Yan Shuo sank into the lava lake like a madman. In front of treasures, he knew his own limits. If he did not continue to sink, then his ending would be the same as the demon brothers. He would be captured and sealed in the obsidian fort. Over there, the power of the seal would be even stronger and it would be even more impossible to escape. Demon Lord Yan Shuo cursed and sank back to the bottom of the lava lake to continue his slumber. His power was still not enough to break the seal. Otherwise, he would not need to fear these two damned humans. 10 minutes passed. Demon Lord Yan Shuo suddenly floated up. After the ugly head drilled out of the churning magma lake, it suddenly revealed a cunning and strange smile. Go back? It's already too late. Demon Lord Yan Shuo let out a weird laugh that made people's ears ache. He seemed to be very pleased with himself. At this moment, in the battle arena, under the vault of Heaven's star seal, 9-headed Sea Goblin King was arrogantly criticizing Empress Jellyfish. Did Ben Wang hear wrongly just now? You said you don't agree? Did you let Ben Wang play too much until his brain became damaged? You actually dared to say you don't agree? Do you have the power to say no? Do you have the power to stop me? You are like a pig. Benwang used you in the past and forced himself to sleep with you. Otherwise, Benwang would not even look at you. You don't know how disgusting you are. You always act like a cheap queen. It's so disgusting. Do you think that by acting like this, you are not a cheap whore? Benwang really feels sad for that fool Guanlan. How could he be willing to marry a trash like you? God knows how many times you have made him wear green hats. Damn it, to this day, this king is still unable to confirm if that idiot sea dragon is this king's son. If he really is my son, there is no reason for him to be so idiotic. Empress Jellyfish did not say a word. Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen were also hiding in a corner. As for Yu Yang, who was disguised as General Nig, he was bored to death and yawned. Xiang Yu, who was holding the holy sword, did not even look at Yu Yang and the other ocean generals. He only stared at Empress Jellyfish. He coughed slightly and reminded the fanatical nine-headed sea goblin king. Yao Feng, this woman is not simple. I have a bad feeling. She seems to be hiding her strength. She doesn't seem to be a level 8 innate. Nine-headed sea goblin king roared unhappily. If she still thinks that Benwang is the me from back then she is gravely mistaken. Benwang has now obtained demonic powers and reached the peak of innate level 10. Not to mention that this whore is only a level 8 innate. Even if she was hiding her strength as a level 9 or level 10 innate, this whore will definitely die today. Idiot. Even if I did not hide my strength, you are just a small fry. You don't have the qualifications to be my opponent. An idiot like you who has no strength and thinks that you are infallible will forever be the same as before, kneeling in front of me, licking my toes and fawning on me like a dog. When Empress Jellyfish said this, everyone immediately looked at Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King. Who would have thought that Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King would actually lick Empress Jellyfish's toes in order to fawn on her? Yu Yang almost gave Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King a thumbs up. Such a strong person. Blard. Hui Tai Lang almost vomited. When he showed his loyalty to his master, the most he could do was to rub his pants and wag his tail. But this fellow actually licked his toes. This was too heavy. Damn whore. When Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King was exposed by Empress Jellyfish, he immediately felt ashamed and trembled in anger. Cough, cough, cough. His ally Xiang Yu pretended not to hear, but he was actually secretly happy. All right, don't talk nonsense with them. While Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiaso are away, you guys immediately kill these people. As long as the Vault of Stars formation is broken, the Demon Brothers will come out. According to the agreement, we will support you guys to become the Ocean Emperor and Sky Emperor. A man dressed as an ocean priest followed behind silently. He sensed that there was indeed no ambush in the surroundings. Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasua had also gone to Icy Wind Valley to suppress Demon Marshal Yan Shu. They would not be able to rush back in a short while, so he spoke slowly. The moment he opened his mouth, he immediately ordered Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King's Xiang Yu to take action. His identity seemed to be very noble. The Sky Emperor has nothing to do with me, but the Sea Clan already has the most suitable successor for the Ocean Emperor. Suddenly, a person flew in from the outside passage. She was holding onto the Ocean Emperor's halberd. It was Hai Yingwu. Her gaze ignored Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King and swept past Empress Jellyfish. She directly looked at Yu Yang, who was hiding in a corner and drawing small circles in boredom. Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King was stunned. Why would someone come to mess with him at this time? Moreover, it was a level 1 innate girl. Seeing Hai Yingwu wearing the Ocean Emperor's armor and holding the Ocean Emperor's halberd, Countess Jiawei and Countess Yan's eyes immediately widened. This girl indeed looked like a person. Empress Jellyfish raised her eyes and looked at Hai Yingwu. Then, she slowly lowered her eyes, as if she did not see this person. The man dressed as an ocean priest saw Hai Yingwu coming in and his expression changed. He immediately waved his hand and shouted, "Kill her, kill everyone, our time is limited." Don't worry, this is only a level 1 innate girl. I can kill her with one finger. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King did not care. In comparison, he was more vigilant towards Empress Jellyfish. After all, Empress Jellyfish was a strong woman who had controlled the Sea Clan for thousands of years. If he did not obtain the power of a demon and had strong support behind him, he would not dare to challenge Empress Jellyfish. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King flew towards Hai Ingwu like lightning. His right hand grabbed onto the Ocean Emperor's halberd and his left hand grabbed onto Hai Ingwu's neck. He wanted to kill his opponent in one hit and snatch the Ocean Emperor's halberd to become the new Ocean Emperor. Not right. The man dressed as an ocean priest suddenly shouted and reminded Nine-headed Sea Goblin King to be careful. But it was already too late. Two huge arms stretched out from the left and right, easily blocking Nine-headed Sea Goblin King's attack. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King's arms were bounced off by two irresistible huge forces, exposing his chest. Hai Ingwu confidently waved the Ocean Emperor's halberd and used her greatest strength. Adding on the Ocean Emperor's halberd's original power, she directly sent Nine-headed Sea Goblin King flying. If she was not only innate level 1 and could only use the Ocean Emperor's halberd's power, Nine-headed Sea Goblin King would have been heavily injured. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King angrily shot down from the sky and prepared to counterattack. Who knew that when he saw the two guards behind Hai Ingwu, he was immediately stunned. The legendary Sea Clan's guardian god, Abyss Manatee, actually had two of them. They appeared behind the unfamiliar girl and became her guards. No wonder she could easily send him flying even though he used the power of a level 9 innate. The reason was because she had two heaven-ranked level 2 guards. Isn't the Sea Clan's guardian god already dead? Xiang Yu also felt bitter in his throat. It's over, he had killed too much and provoked the Sea Clan's guardian god. Immediately kill Empress Jellyfish and her followers and open the vault of Heaven's star seal. The man dressed as an ocean priest suddenly took a deep breath and looked back at Hai Ingwu. He calmly snorted, "Leave her to me." Chapter 577. The man disguised as the ocean priest rushed towards Hai Ingwu like lightning. Hai Ingwu did not retreat a single step. Behind her, two abyss manatees wielding long blades swam out at high speed and guarded in front of her. When they waved their long blades to attack, the man dressed as the ocean priest slowly extended his left hand and pressed it to the ground. A special domain power was emitted from his left hand. It didn't cover a large area, but it still covered a radius of 20 meters. The two abyss manatees, including himself, fell into a state of stillness at the same time. It was as if time and space had stopped within the range of that domain power. One man and two beasts stayed motionless within the domain. The man disguised as the ocean priest floated in the air, while the two abyss manatees maintained their attacking posture. The two strongest abyss manatees were already suppressed. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King and Xiang Yu, the two great experts, were relieved. Although the appearance of the abyss manatees was an accident, with that person around, everything would not be a problem. That person was originally here to deal with the two guards, Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasu. But because of Empress Jellyfish's appearance, the plan changed. No one knew what Empress Jellyfish said, but she actually persuaded Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasu to kill the demon brothers. On the surface, killing the demon brothers was a loss of 2 soldiers. But in reality, if the firmament constellation seal did not have the dungeon obsidian seal to balance it, the balance would easily be broken. Feng Zhu and Bei Feng Jiasu killing the demon brothers would definitely consume a lot of energy. If they were to go to Icy Wind Valley to suppress Demon Marshal Yan Shuo, they would definitely lose a lot of energy. Even if they returned, they would not be able to stop that person from opening the firmament constellation seal and taking out the ancient demon king's perfect demon body. Bitch die. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King raised his power to innate level 9. He felt that even if he did not transform into a demon, it was enough to take down Empress Jellyfish. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King made a feint with his hand and kicked out. He fiercely kicked Empress Jellyfish's lower abdomen. Empress Jellyfish was sent flying 10 meters away. Blood flowed from her mouth, but her sharp gaze was still there. Her back was as straight as a spear and her feet were firmly planted on the ground. Empress Jellyfish's expression was as if her body was not injured at all. She looked at the proud nine-headed Sea Goblin King with disdain. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King was most displeased to see her expression. Xiang Yu was preparing to rush towards Countess Jie Wei and Countess Yan, but when he saw Empress Jellyfish's expression, he was instantly shocked. There was an inexplicable chill in his heart. There was no anger, no hatred, no loser or weakling in that gaze. Instead, it was more like a victor or a powerhouse in control of the situation. Xiang Yu felt that if he saw a few ants baring their fangs and brandishing their claws in front of him, his expression would be as disdainful and contemptuous as Empress Jellyfish. That's right, it was contempt. Xiang Yu could clearly see the ridicule and disdain in Empress Jellyfish's eyes. What I hate the most in my life is your cheap look. Die. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King pounced forward fiercely like a lunatic. Trash! Empress Jellyfish spat out coldly. Her hands did not resist at all. She slowly went around Nine-headed Sea Goblin King's deadly fist. When the opponent was about to hit her, she grabbed Nine-headed Sea Goblin King's throat with one hand and fiercely smashed him onto the ground. Rumble! A huge tremor shook the entire battle arena. The stars in the sky were also affected and gradually dimmed. Other than Yu Yang, who took the time to look at the sky, no one else had the time to look above their head. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King wanted to struggle, but Empress Jellyfish stepped on his head and shamefully stomped him back to the ground. A trash like you will forever be a dog in front of this Empress. If you wagged your tail well, this Empress will reward you with a bone. But you can't recognize your own master and bark randomly. That will be your death. Damn bitch! Nine-headed Sea Goblin King was so angry that his whole body was trembling. He never thought that he, who had obtained demon power, would let Empress Jellyfish step on his head. This was the biggest humiliation. The demon power that he had just obtained exploded and his body continued to demonize. High-temperature demon power erupted from all parts of his body and burned fiercely. A power that could shake the earth exploded. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King, who had instantly reached innate level 10, raised his head angrily. He lifted Empress Jellyfish, who was stepping on his head, off the ground bit by bit. His neck bones were cracking and it was so painful that it felt like it was going to break. But he felt that if he could not raise his head in front of Empress Jellyfish this time, he would never be able to raise his head in this lifetime. Idiot! Empress Jellyfish's strength suddenly increased by 10 times and directly stomped Nine-headed Sea Goblin King back to the ground. Roar ah! Nine-headed Sea Goblin King struggled again and again. But every time he raised his head with difficulty, Empress Jellyfish would use an even faster speed and greater strength to stomp his head back to the ground. Until now, Nine-headed Sea Goblin King then realized that Empress Jellyfish's strength was not any weaker than him who had obtained demon power. It was even slightly stronger. If there was only Nine-headed Sea Goblin King, then this battle could be declared over. But there was still a strong helper, the Winged Clan's expert with the holy sword, Xiang Yu. Her expression was still arrogant, as if she had, "The whole situation is under my control." Why? Xiang Yu trembled. He did not understand. Empress Jellyfish could obviously dodge it, so why did she not dodge this fatal strike? In my body, because I used a forbidden power that I should not have used, an incurable curse was formed. This curse, even if I die, will be passed on to my descendants. Of course, I will not let this curse pass on to my descendant. So, I chose you. Whoever kills me will have to bear the curse for me. When Empress Jellyfish said this, Xiang Yu's face became green and blue. He was so scared that his body turned soft. He also gave up on his holy sword and staggered a few steps back. He raised both of his hands. He suddenly realized that there was a strange black spot between his hands. It was like some kind of rune pattern, deeply burning into his skin, muscles, bone marrow, and even his soul. Xiang Yu painfully knelt on the ground and wailed in despair. "No, you can't do this to me. There are many choices in life. Once you make the wrong choice, you will be consigned to eternal damnation." Empress Jellyfish flicked the bloody sword tip protruding from her chest. The holy sword fell out of her body and fell in front of Xiang Yu. "To me, you are just a chess piece. Ever since you impersonated the Sea General and stepped into the secret door, you were destined to be like this. No, I should not end up like this. I should be the chief consul of the Guangming continent. I should be one of the 5 emperors of Tong Tian Tower." Xiang Yu picked up the holy light sword in grief and indignation. When he held the holy light sword in his hand, the shining holy light sword seemed to have been contaminated by demonic energy. It became dim, and the sword body quickly transformed into a demonic skeleton sword in the shape of a demon's fangs. When Xiang Yu raised the sword, tears of despair flowed out from his eyes. Now, he understood that his dream of becoming the Sky Emperor had been shattered. A person can be ignorant, but if he treats ignorance as the truth, and misty and laughable fantasy as the power to control everything, then he is an idiot. Empress Jellyfish snorted. "Do you know what is the scariest thing in life? That is not knowing your own position and thinking that you are infallible. Bitch Xiang Yu, kill this damned bitch. Becoming a demon or becoming a human is the same. As long as we have power, we are gods." Nine-headed Sea Goblin King struggled with all his might, but he was unable to break free from Empress Jellyfish's feet. Even now, he was unable to do it. Xiang Yu raised his sword in despair. He prepared to commit suicide. He felt that in front of this Empress Jellyfish, his scheming was simply a retard. If you commit suicide, not only will you not die, the curse will also spread to your entire tribe. You have 1,000 years' time, enough for you to reflect on yourself in the pain and torment of the curse. When Empress Jellyfish said this, Xiang Yu knelt down on the ground powerlessly. It was as if his soul was sucked out of his body, and he became a living dead. "Let me go. Damned bitch, I want to kill you." Nine-headed Sea Goblin King was still struggling under Empress Jellyfish's feet, and could not break free no matter how hard he tried. "You, come here." Empress Jellyfish suddenly pointed at Hai Yingwu, who was watching the battle from afar. "Me?" Hai Yingwu was stunned, her expression was startled. Chapter 578. How to be a leader. Empress Jellyfish's foot exploded with power and broke Nine-headed Sea Goblin King's neck with a crack. "First, you have to be ruthless." Nine-headed Sea Goblin King was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. His cries were extremely tragic. Empress Jellyfish turned a deaf ear to him and pointed her finger casually. Nine-headed Sea Goblin King's voice stopped abruptly, as if something sealed his mouth. Hai Yingwu looked at Yu Yang and waited for his silent approval before walking towards Empress Jellyfish with shock and astonishment. Hai Yingwu was completely on guard against this scary woman, afraid that she would be tricked if she wasn't careful. If not for Yu Yang being present, she would definitely not walk in front of Empress Jellyfish. This woman was too scary. As a ruler, you have to be ruthless. Only a ruthless person can make everyone fear your authority. Empress Jellyfish looked at Hai Yingwu with sharp eyes. "Little girl, if you want to be the Ocean Emperor, please remember this. Never let anyone from the Sea Clan have the chance to challenge your authority. If there is, then kill them." When Empress Jellyfish said this, she only looked at Hai Yingwu and did not look at Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen. But the two of them were horrified as they felt that Empress Jellyfish was talking about them. "Why are you telling me this?" Hai Ingwu did not understand. According to reason, shouldn't she be their enemy? Guanlan's daughter, do you know the identity of the person standing in front of you? I am the Sea Clan's Empress Jellyfish, Guanlan's first wife. According to the rules, you should call me Empress Mother. Empress Jellyfish's voice was as cold as ice. No, I will definitely not call you Empress Mother. Hai Ingwu puffed out her chest and her eyes were filled with hatred. My mother is a female slave, not an empress. Moreover, she died long ago. My father also caused your children to rebel and commit suicide. I have nothing to do with you. Furthermore, Empress Jellyfish, please look carefully. I, Hai Ingwu, am already the new generation Ocean Emperor. The previous generation Ocean Emperor Guanlan has already become history. Now there is only Ocean Emperor Hai Ingwu, there is no Empress Jellyfish. Very good, you are starting to look like the Ocean Emperor. Empress Jellyfish laughed coldly. I learned this from you. You said, don't let anyone from the Sea Clan challenge my authority. If there is, then kill him. Hai Ingwu raised the Ocean Emperor's halberd in her hands and pointed it at Empress Jellyfish. She hated this terrible woman very much. If Hai Ingwu wasn't worried that she would be cursed if she killed her, Hai Ingwu would really want to give her a ruthless blow with her halberd. His mother died tragically. His father died tragically. He had almost missed happiness by a hair's breadth. Fortunately, he had met Yu Yang, and it was he who had brought him to meet his father. In the end, he had inherited his father's power and bloodline. Previously, he had been living in misery and had always been cautious. There were several times when he was almost killed by the princes and princesses that this woman had given birth to. Towards this Empress Jellyfish, Hai Ingwu's biggest memory was that this woman often killed female slaves and the illegitimate children of the Ocean Emperor Guanlan. Fortunately, he was smart and vigilant enough to hide his strength and pretend to be a weakling. Of course, there was also the cover of his mother's sisters. If it wasn't for them, he was afraid that he wouldn't have been able to meet Yu Yang and would have died early. If Xiang Yu didn't stab Empress Jellyfish, Hai Ingwu really wanted to kill this woman personally. Only this woman was the biggest obstacle for him to become the Ocean Emperor. However, now that her heart was pierced, she was dead for sure. Moreover, she had a curse on her body so she couldn't make a move. The new female Ocean Emperor, you learn very fast. However, have you really learned it? Do you dare to kill me? Empress Jellyfish released her leg and walked down from Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King's head. She walked in front of Hai Ingwu and stared at her. I don't need to kill you, you are dead for sure. Hai Ingwu retorted without showing any weakness. Coward! Empress Jellyfish suddenly slapped Hai Ingwu's face. She glared at her angrily and stared at Hai Ingwu coldly. The distance between their faces was less than 3 inches. Hai Ingwu was shocked, but she clenched her fists tightly. She wasn't willing to show weakness to this woman in front of Yu Yang. She knew that he was looking at her. Whether or not she was a qualified female Ocean Emperor would depend on today. Hai Ingwu used all her strength to not retreat. She stared angrily at Empress Jellyfish's sharp gaze. Even though her body was slightly trembling, she did not cower. From an outsider's point of view, one would be surprised to find out. Although these two women did not look exactly alike, their aura and character were surprisingly similar. Seeing the two of them looking at each other, Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen suddenly felt dispirited. Disparity? What was disparity? This was the disparity. If it was them, Jiawei and Yen would not have the guts to do this. Empress Jellyfish kept staring at Hai Ingwu. My body no longer has the power of the curse. Moreover, my heart is broken and I am in my weakest state. I even have to use a portion of my power to control and suppress that trash Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King. Facing such a person as the Ocean Emperor, you don't even dare to wave your halberd? What kind of Ocean Emperor are you? You don't even dare to kill an obstacle in your path. You are simply a weak and useless wretch. You hope to use other people's power to obtain the position of Ocean Emperor? You hope to use other people's power to obtain your own happiness? Think about it, you cowardly woman. How did your mother die? How did your companions die? How did your father die? Don't say any more. Otherwise I will really kill you. Hai Ying-wu felt that her chest was about to explode from anger. Being looked down upon by Empress Jellyfish was the biggest failure of her life. Moreover, Yu Yang was still watching from the side. Let me tell you, I was the one who ordered your mother to be killed. I was also the one who ordered your companions to be killed. Even your father, that useless bastard, was like a coward all his life. He thought he was smart and always did things behind my back, but he didn't know that I was always by his side. He even thought that he could escape from my control. The battle at the graveyard of the sea was actually instigated by me. Your father was also killed by me. What can you do? Continue to use Guanlan's power and bloodline. So what if you have the golden dragon that he gave you? A coward will always be a coward. Even if you inherit his power and bloodline, you will never become a true expert. Empress Jellyfish mocked and ridiculed Hai Ying-wu. Go and die, you evil woman. Hai Ying-wu raised the Ocean Emperor halberd and fiercely slashed down. Humph! Empress Jellyfish closed her eyes and did not dodge at all. However, something unexpected happened. The furious Hai Ying-wu did not slash the Ocean Emperor halberd on Empress Jellyfish's body. The extremely sharp and powerful Ocean Emperor halberd stopped when it reached the side of Empress Jellyfish's neck. Because she did not control the power well, it even drew a red line on her neck. Hai Ying-wu took a deep breath and adjusted her emotions. Empress Jellyfish, although you tried your best to provoke me to kill you, I did not want to do that. I am the Ocean Emperor and I have my own will. I will not do whatever you want me to do. Indeed, I hate you very much. However, don't think of using this hatred to destroy my rationality. I want to kill you with one strike of the halberd, but there is no need for that now, because you are already a dead person. I, Hai Ying-wu, am the new female Ocean Emperor. I have my own will and dignity, and will not be affected by the previous generation's past empress. Although I do not know why you want to provoke me to kill you, I will not let you do as you wish. My decision is the true will of the Ocean Emperor. When Empress Jellyfish heard this, she was silent. For a long time, she did not say anything. Just as Hai Ying-wu was about to turn and leave, Empress Jellyfish suddenly laughed out loud. When she laughed, blood immediately spurted out from her chest. Her injuries were like a mountain torrent that could not be stopped. However, Empress Jellyfish did not seem to see the blood spurting out from her chest. She continued to laugh until she bent forward and backward, and even laughed until tears came out. Ha 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 ha! Guanlan, you never believed me in your entire life, but now, let me tell you, you are wrong. Ha 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 ha! Hai Ying-wu looked at Empress Jellyfish and thought to herself, is this woman crazy? Empress Jellyfish's body swayed. She immediately steadied herself. She walked towards Hai Ying-wu. Hai Ying-wu was a little afraid and could not help but retreat 3 steps. Empress Jellyfish continued to walk towards her. With every step she took, a large amount of blood dripped down, forming bloody footprints one after another. What do you want to do? Hai Ying-wu tried her best to suppress the fear in her heart and stared at the crazy Empress Jellyfish. Guanlan, you have not done anything great in your life. Luckily you left behind a good daughter. Guanlan, you did not lose, but I won. Empress Jellyfish walked in front of Hai Ying-wu. Her mouth was full of blood, but she still wanted to laugh. Just as Hai Ying-wu was about to retreat in fear, Empress Jellyfish suddenly took off the meteor shower pearl necklace on her neck. She gently hung the meteor shower pearl necklace that was covered in blood on Hai Ying-wu's stiff neck. She smiled while bleeding. I will teach you one last trick. Find a man who is smarter than you. Do not ever find a guy like your father who is only a little smart. That kind of guy would not be able to tell that his wife and female slave are the same person. Hai Yin-Wu felt that something was wrong, but she could not understand why. Empress Jellyfish fell down softly. Hai Yin-Wu instinctively stretched out her hand and hugged Empress Jellyfish's weak body. She asked anxiously, "What do you mean by that? Who exactly are you?" Empress Jellyfish used her hands that were covered in blood to caress Hai Yin-Wu's face. She slowly closed her eyes and smiled proudly. "Why don't you guess?" After saying that, her hands fell down powerlessly. Empress Jellyfish laid in Hai Yin-Wu's embrace as if she was sleeping soundly. Her eyes were closed and her curved lips were still smiling. She smiled. She smiled very proudly. Hai Yin-Wu realized that her tears were flowing down mysteriously. Drop by drop, they dripped onto Empress Jellyfish's proud and pleased, smiling face. She raised her head and looked at Yu Yang, who had suddenly appeared beside her. She hoarsely asked him for confirmation. "Who is she? Tell me, who exactly is she?" Why is that?" Yu Yang nodded towards Hai Yin-Wu. "She is a very important person in my life. This world has become interesting because of her." Hai Yin-Wu was dumbfounded. Big drops of tears rolled down her face. Drip. The tears splashed onto Empress Jellyfish's sleeping face. Countess Jiawei and Countess Yen knelt down and kowtowed to bid farewell to Empress Jellyfish. At the last moment, they were completely subdued. They were completely convinced. They were all women, but compared to Empress Jellyfish, they felt inferior. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.